I love a buttered biscuit.
Dropped a grumpy, pardon the term, onto the bed.
Dang. Look at this.
Hello.
10 people. The expert. He is the first person. Good man. Must be taking on an Amber. No. I was trying to load something up, but it wouldn't happen. And grow your mustache back, expert. I agree. Grow it back. Damn it. You look good with a mustache.
He looks really good with his mustache and his beard.
I know. All right, so I gotta try this to see if it's gonna get my channel in trouble. So everybody hold on to your horses because we're gonna present this here. Share screen. Because I'm trying to see if it's gonna work. It's for my gaming channel. The last time I played this particular intro, it was some of the same visuals, but different, but the same audio. So some of it I've used before. So we're about to find out if it gets my channel in trouble. We're going to do it live. Here you go. You guys get to see my gaming intro for my gaming channel. So enjoy.
I love a buttered biscuit.
In a world where gaming is no mere pastime, but a quest for glory, one dancing monkey dares to press the keyboard of chaos. Shizzy Wiznut Gaming. Where fairies wear boots and Karens clutch pearls. Prepare to embark on a journey through beautiful terrains and rummage the valleys of morons. With a master of ceremonies so serious, you'll forget that he is a gamer. Welcome to your new gaming destiny, where it is time to level up with the one, the only, Shizzy Wiznut. Subscribe, smash that like button, and ring the bell for the ride of your life, because Shizzy Wiznut is here to redefine what you thought was possible.
Oh, fuck it.
Cool.
I love it.
I think it looks cool. We'll find out if I
actually love it.
I thought, well, I was sitting there going, I've got to come up with something. My voice is sounding like this, and I can get that really deep. What is it? It's Red Pepper. That is the guy that used to do all those intros for all the big blockbuster movies. In a land far away, there is a man. That man is a gladiator.
And you have the voice for it too, which makes it freaking perfect.
Well, just right now I do. My voice will come back to its normal status at some point. But
You have a good voice. Stop it.
no, I love I love the way it sounds right now, but it'll be back to normal eventually. Most of the time I just sound like a 14-year-old boy going through puberty. It's hilarious. Oh, hey, how's it going, T-Rex? And Aris, good to see you. So what would have got to, I did not realize this. So we're going to have to actually take a step back after we complete part 2 of day 11, because we skipped over part 1. I didn't realize it until I was going back over it. I was like, I feel like there's something missing. And it turns out we were actually missing the first part of that, where they were talking about the donations.
Oh,
Yeah. that was the first part of the day. So we'll go back and we'll hit that one after we finish this up. This is part 2 of day 11. Once I realized, I was like, let me get that stuff organized so we have it back in there. I'm really sorry about that, everybody. That was not my intention. Switch account. There we go. That will get me to watch history. Watch later. There we go. As I've got the playlist up, and there and there. There we go. So share the screen. Hey, Farrell. And I guess we can, if you want to drop a couple of invites to people, that's cool. Any of those fine folks. We got Farrell that might want to hang out, and T-Rex. It's both up to them. Oh my God, is that Sarah?
I'll do this. I'll put it
Sarah.
in the group chat.
Yeah, do that. And let's see. I'll get this up to speed here. So, yeah, this is the guy from last week, and he doesn't finish it out. Yeah, I think he does finish it. That goes through a couple more. And yeah, so we've got about an hour, a little bit more than an hour of that. And I'll have it sped up also. So this Scottish guy, he's awesome. I really like him. Playback speed 1.25. There we go. All right. So if you can't hear it, let me know. Ooh. What a day. So your first one solo on solo cast for the Jessica Reloaded.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
JR chats.
So what do you do? Just talk with chat? I haven't checked it out, so
Pretty much. I did find, because I scroll through Reddit before I go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I did find some stuff to talk about, but I know with time they'll get better and better, and I'm not just going to use Reddit. Like, I'll find stuff to talk about. And then I'm also planning on having guests come on as well to talk.
Very nice.
Like Friday, I'm having Daremouth come on. Gonna get Baker to come on for a one-on-one. Awesome. I found a woman on TikTok that her dad got away with unaliving her mom.
Whoa.
In 1993, and there still hasn't been any justice served. So,
wow.
I messaged her, and she messaged me back, and she said, "Yes, please." So,
well, that'll be nice. I mean, to get that story out there. Hey, Indigo. Luna. Hey, I know that girl. So that's a possibility. You know that girl personally from 93? Or,
no.
Indigo?
No.
I was talking to Farrell in chat. She says, hey, I know that girl. So I'm wondering if that's who she's talking about.
I think she's talking to Indigo.
Oh, okay. I hope so. Oh, her talks.
Her talks anyway?
Gotcha.
Oh, you know her TikTok? Cool.
Very
her name
cool.
is like Nicole something. Nicole.
Oh, you never got notified I was live. Oh, sorry to hear that. Now, Junior, she's only streaming this over on Rumble. And so if you want to hit her up over there, she's growing her channel over on the Rumble side. Mm-hmm. And her link should be up there in the description. Most definitely. Well, first I thought it said, "All right, Mr. Commie, can you hear me okay?" It says Connie. I just looked down at it. I was like, "Mr. Commie, oh Connie."
Damn, Judge Penny,
Damn.
savage.
And yes,
Can you just count to 5 for me, please?
1,
1, 2,
2,
3,
3, 4.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Next question.
All right, Mr. Connolly, we were talking about Hicksville there, and you made a comment that you had suggested to Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard that they keep it private or something along those lines.
I did, yes.
My question is just what prompted you to make that suggestion?
Well, it was getting kind of animated. You know, it was getting animated, and you know, no one wants to see their dirty laundry in public.
Were they both animated?
More so Amber. Johnny, yes, but more so Amber.
Do you remember anything in particular that Ms. Heard was saying at the time?
I don't recall. No, as I say, it wasn't really coherent. It was more of the animation. That,
It's more like bitch, moan, bitch, moan.
certain looks and stuff.
I didn't
I love his
understand.
accent.
You do what I have to do.
Yeah, Scottish.
Okay. Shifting gears a little bit, you listed out various places that you traveled with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard, and I think you listed Japan, Germany, Hicksville, and Australia. Do I have that right?
Correct, yes.
When were you in Australia?
That'll be 2015, Pirates 5.
And what were you doing in Australia?
My job. In that occasion, I flew out first. I usually fly out first to do the advance. The advance includes the check-in of accommodation. Not so much accommodation because Nathan Holmes, Ben King, and the chef called Russell, they had already been at the home. Been at the home, and got that sorted out. My main concern was locations, transport, local security, drivers. You know, making sure all that's in line before Johnny gets there. Jerry Judge would have travelled with Johnny into Australia. On arrival, I would have picked them up at the airport, as we do, take them to the house or whatever accommodation we're staying in, and I would have peeled off. I'd have left it at that. Went back to my apartment. Johnny would have been in maybe it could be up to a week for, you know, makeup, costume before any shooting stuff. In which time it gives me a time to run around some locations, the studio, check out the studio, the locations, as well as be around for if Johnny wants to go for dinner at night anywhere. I would check out these places as well.
Mr. Connolly, I'm sorry. I just had a little trouble hearing you there. It might be the connection, but could you speak maybe just a little bit slower? I'm sorry.
Okay. As I say, my job in Australia is just to secure all the advance. So I would check out, make sure the local drivers are there, all the cars are in order, the accommodations in order, the locations for shooting are all safe, liaison with production, what's expected of them. I would pick him up at the airport when he arrives, take him to the accommodation, peel off, go and check out a few restaurants in case he wants to go out. And if nothing's happening, stand down for that evening.
Does anything stand out to you about your time in Australia in 2015?
Yeah, Johnny lost a finger. One afternoon I was instructed to go to Johnny's accommodation.
Objection, and can we just...
Okay, all right. Hold on just a minute, Mr. Connolly.
That's funny. It's like I saw you type that in there. I can't wait for the masses to give up on their New Year's resolution. You know what my New Year's resolution was? I would make a New Year's resolution for a few more years. That way I don't have to break any of them. No, I actually, you know, mine are more like daily or monthly resolutions of things I don't want to do or need to do.
All right, Mr. Connolly, please continue, but as you go, please avoid discussing the substance of any communications that you had with Mr. Depp or his security, and just focus on what you observed.
Okay. I arrived at Johnny's accommodation with my driver, Andrew. I noticed that there's an SUV one of the security, the RST, resident security team, one of their vehicles is sitting outside the door with no driver. So I just assume there's something up. There's a security car there, but no driver. As I approach the door, I hear a muffled shouting and screaming, and you know, quite muffled though, because the entrance to this house, there's a massive oak door. I mean, it's huge, and it's got to be about 25 mil thick. So I open it, and it's chaos. It's screaming and shouting, but all I can see with my eyes is Johnny. He's wearing a jacket, a hat, and a bag with his notebooks. I always know that bag because it's a grey canvas bag. And he's sort of, you know, nuts in one hand. So I'm saying, well, hey,
nuts in one
hand. Screaming and shouting. It's madness. Amber's irate. I mean, tenacious. It's crazy stuff. Johnny's, you know, shouting back. So I say, Johnny, let's go. Let's get out. You know, that's my job, to remove him from a situation. Let's get out. I do a couple of steps with him. Johnny, give me 5 minutes, Mal. 5 minutes. Well, he's the boss, you know. There's no bullets flying. So, okay, give him 2 minutes. I say, let's go. Eventually, I get him out. I managed to get him outside the door. We go downstairs. But Amber appears from somewhere. Now, I don't know if Amber was upstairs or in the room to the left or wherever, but she appears and she's screaming, you know, berating him. She's basically berating him. Yeah, fuck off, she's saying, Johnny. Yeah, that's what you do. Fuck off. That's what you do all the time. That's all you ever do is fuck off. You fuck off with your guys. You're fucking coward. That's what you fucking do. You fucking coward. Yeah, fuck off with your guys. You big man. All that shit that goes with it. Gets him downstairs. By this time, Amber's on the threshold of the accommodation. She's screaming, you know, fuck off, you fucking coward. That kind of words, you know. And I get him into the car, and I want to sit in the same. I usually sit in the front seat shotgun, but I want to sit in the same seat at the back, so I can have a look what's going on here and have a chat and have a talk. But when I get around the car, the driver's not locked the door, so he's out the door again, and he's making his way back up the stairs. I get back round again. By the time I get to the top, there's two concrete stairs to the front door. He's just crossing the threshold, and the screaming starting again. Excuse me, Amber is screaming again. Johnny, let's go. And this time it's a wee bit more force, and I managed to actually basically pull him out of the place. Get him into the car. Doors are locked this time. Into the car, we take off. Got him back to my apartment using, you know, secretly through the underground car park and service lifts. I get him up to my apartment. Get him into my apartment. Start washing his hand, basic triage in his hand, washing it, first aid. It's a mess. His finger's just a mess. It's like one of them cartoon exploding cigars. I always think in my mind that one of them cigars that blow up, where the cartoons boom, and it's so flapping around, and I can see bone. There's bone there. It's smashed to bits, and he's wincing as I'm trying to wash his hand. Anyway, I sit him down and I phoned Debbie the nurse, who's living in the same apartment block as me. So that's my first thing. Phone Debbie. About 20 minutes later, if that, I don't recall, maybe 25, maybe half an hour. But she turns up with Dr. Kipper. So Dr. Kipper does his thing. Nurse Debbie dresses it all. But Kipper is saying, right, this we have to go to the hospital with this. There's no other way. We have to go to the hospital. This has to be seriously looked at. We get to the hospital, and that's when that's when his treatment started, you know.
Okay. When you were in the presence of Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard in the house in Australia, how far away were you from Ms. Heard?
When I first entered the house, Ms. Heard wasn't visible to me. Only Johnny. It's only when we started to leave, Ms. Heard appeared, and she's probably, well, you're talking 3 feet.
Did you observe any injuries on Ms. Heard?
No injuries. No injuries.
I'm sorry, what was your answer?
No injuries, none.
Other than the injury to his finger, did you observe any injuries on Mr. Depp?
No, no. Well, I say no. You know, there was a mark in his face, and I didn't know what that was, so I never really put it down too much. But in the hospital, I took a photograph, and when I look at that photograph, I can see 2 injuries. When we're sitting in the car,
hold on, Mr. Khan.
objection to the extent he's going to be talking about what the mark is on his, since he didn't see what happened and he's not a doctor, he can't describe what.
That's fine, Your Honor. We
Are you gonna move on? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
I think you've generally described for us the kinds of things Ms. Heard was saying. How would you describe her overall demeanor when she and Mr. Depp were in each other's presence in the house in Australia?
She was an outright cunt.
Good days and bad days.
I'm sorry, I mean on that particular day.
In that particular day.
She's always a particular cunt.
The only time I seen Miss Heard and Johnny in that house is when I arrived there to extract them.
And how did Ms. Heard seem to you when you saw her on that day, when you arrived to extract
Like a
them?
cunt.
Crazy. 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 Fierce, you know, fierce.
What was the last thing Ms. Heard said as you were taking Mr. Depp out of the house to go to your apartment and then the hospital?
Yeah, the last words I recall hearing as I'm getting Johnny out is, yeah, just fuck off with your guys, you're fucking covered like you always do.
All right. I have no further questions.
All right, cross-examination. Mr. Nadelhoff?
even Vasquez is
Mr.
laughing her
Connolly,
ass off.
You still work for Mr. Depp?
I do, yeah.
And you've worked for him now for about 18 years?
No.
Well, 2 years ago, you said you worked for him for 16 years, so 2 more years would be 18.
No,
now.
I worked with him. I didn't work for him. I worked for a guy called Jerry Judge in Music and Arts. Johnny Depp never paid me. Johnny Depp started paying me 2 years ago.
Okay, so now you're being, so you were working, Jerry Judge was your boss until he passed away, is that right?
Okay.
Okay, and now you get paid directly by Mr. Depp, correct?
Right.
You're paid a salary by Mr. Depp?
No.
Okay. And Mr. Depp's also provided you gifts, correct?
Gifts?
Gifts, money,
Yes.
gifts.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
Johnny,
gift
yes,
for me.
Johnny,
Swinging a
And
hammer.
he's given you gifts over $8,500, correct?
$8,500.
Yeah,
For what?
He gave me a lot more than that.
okay. And you're loyal to Mr. Depp, right?
Yes, of course I'm loyal to Mr. Depp. I'd be loyal to you if I was working for you.
Okay. Now, going to Australia, you said you went to Australia in 2015 with Mr. Depp, correct? Or you went before Mr. Depp, but you were there to work for Mr. Depp, correct?
Correct.
And Jerry Judge was also there?
Not when I arrived, no.
But Jerry Judge was eventually in Australia, correct?
Correct.
And Nathan Holmes was also in Australia as well, right?
Correct.
Correct.
And Mr. Depp came to Australia in February of 2015, correct?
Correct.
And when Mr. Depp first came to Australia, Amber was not with Mr. Depp, right?
I don't recall. I don't recall if Amber arrived with
Oh,
Johnny
yeah.
or Amber arrived later.
You don't know one way or the other?
No.
And Mr. Depp stayed in a house in Australia, correct?
Correct.
And you and the security team were about 40 minutes away from the house Mr. Depp was renting, correct?
25, 30. 30, 40. Yeah, you're correct. If it's a traffic day, yeah, 40 minutes at most.
And alcohol was in the house in Australia, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, right.
And Mr. Depp consumed alcohol before Amber arrived in Australia, isn't that right?
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, he would have done, yes.
And you know if Mr. Depp consumed illegal drugs before Amber arrived in Australia?
I'm going to object to
I wouldn't know.
speculation.
I wouldn't know.
Overruled. Good.
And do you know if Mr. Depp spent any time with Marilyn Manson in Australia before Amber arrived?
Don't recall. I don't recall Marilyn Manson being there.
So you don't. So as Mr. Depp's security, you don't know if Mr. Depp was with
No.
Marilyn Manson at any time?
I left Australia to smuggle 2 dogs back out of Australia back to
No. I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about it. I'm talking about in the beginning of March 2015. You were
Marilyn Manson.
you don't know one way or the other.
You heard what he said? I left Australia to smuggle 2 dogs back to the United States. Oh my God. Oh, well, so if we get any Epstein lists, so I've seen something on the Twitter X thing, whatever, that was supposedly this list.
Yeah,
Don't
they're
know if
supposed
it's
to release some of them today, I think.
yeah. See, I don't know if that list is correct or just someone making crap up. You know, I'm always skeptical of stuff that you see on Twitter. I've been burned before on that kind of crap.
But Twitter, like these days, Twitter is supreme when it
Yeah.
comes to getting the real deal of what's going on in the world, because
Well, sometimes, I mean, I responded to some idiot that got on there and was just like, "Oh, these burgers are so damn expensive. It's $5.27 a pound or some crap like that." I was like,
that's
"Yeah,
it.
Walmart." And I was like, "Why don't you look down at those big giant rolls that are twice the amount of meat that only cost like $20, and you're complaining about something that costs $25." I was like, "Jesus, man, you're a horrible shopper. If you're buying the expensive crap, then you're an idiot. they'll drop their prices if nobody's buying it." It's hilarious. Wait, what does that mean? In fact, I am not allowed in Australia. If you're a doggy, no. You have to get some, you have to be quarantined for quite some time. Sit in a cage for, I think it's, and I could be wrong on this, I think it's about 6 weeks that you would have to sit in a cage. And, you know, hopefully you're being cared for and fed. That'd really suck. Hopefully it's not a hot day. Don't go in the winter. Cow butthole is like $20 a pound. Well, if it's a hole, there's nothing in it. No, it's ground beef. It's 80% lean. Dude was complaining about 85% lean ground beef. It's like, okay, it's hilarious. I like I said, there's certain things I believe on Twitter, but you know, some of it is, I think, is added where it shouldn't be. You know, that's just my opinion. Till it starts coming out of like a court or something like that, then possibly. But some of it hard not to know.
Were you seeing Mr. Depp every day in early
Not
March?
at the beginning,
2015?
no, not at the beginning. I had other duties.
Okay. So you don't know what Mr. Depp was doing at that time, correct?
No, I wasn't with him.
Okay. And you don't know when Amber arrived in Australia, correct?
No.
Okay. But you do know that Amber stayed with Mr. Depp, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you talked about a resident security team that was at the Australia house. Is that right?
That's correct.
And were there about four? Was there anyone from the resident security team in the house when you arrived on March 8th, 2015?
No.
Okay. And the resident security team, is it your understanding that they were there, that they were kind of guarding the house?
They would have been in the grounds, but they're substantial grounds, real substantial grounds. They would have been at the ground somewhere.
But they didn't go into the house on March 8th, correct?
I don't know. I never seen them in the house.
Okay. And so when you arrived at the house and went in, was it just Mr. Depp and Amber Heard?
Just Mr. Depp and Amber Heard.
Okay. And
There
before
may
you,
be someone else there. I never visibly seen anyone else. I wasn't there long enough to chat to anybody.
and when you arrived at the house, you could hear a ruckus, correct?
Yes. Well, yes, I could hear. Yeah, I could hear. Definitely hear something through the door. Yeah.
But you said the door was so thick you couldn't hear the actual words that were being said. Is that right?
No, just a shouting.
And then you went in the house and saw Mr. Depp in the foyer, correct?
Yes, correct.
And Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
No.
Mr. Depp had his penis out of his
Objection.
pants, didn't he?
I think I would remember
Relevance.
seeing Mr. Depp's penis.
I'll know. Next question.
And you were trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, correct?
Yes, I was trying to get Mr. Depp out of the house, yes.
And Mr. Depp was refusing to leave the house, was he not?
Not so much refused. He just wanted 2 minutes to say his piece.
You took Mr. Depp's arm to try to move him out, but he broke away. Isn't that right?
Yes.
I mean, so he was strong enough to break away from your grip, correct?
No.
So you had his arm and he broke away, though, correct?
No.
Isn't that what you just said?
No. I let him go.
You let go. But it wasn't
He's my
easy.
boss.
It wasn't
I'm not
easy.
going to drag him by it.
So Mr. Depp's your boss. You'll do what Mr. Depp wants, correct?
No.
It's not easy to get Mr. Depp out of the house, correct?
Not easy.
Now, can we play Exhibit 380A, which is already in evidence?
Plaintiffs or defendants? I'm sorry.
It's defendants, Exhibit 380A.
What is this? Sorry, what is this?
And this is a recording from Australia, and it's just of Mr. Depp.
Yeah, even if you're security, if you're providing security for someone, you don't normally manhandle them like put them in fisticuffs or any crap like that. You don't do that crap. That's your boss. If you're trying to restrain them from like taking a swing at somebody, that's a different story. But whenever you're just trying to get them to move somewhere and they go no and they walk away, you let them walk away. They're your boss. You don't stand in front of them and you don't keep a job very long if you do that. I mean, especially if they're not going to get ready, if they're not getting ready to cause harm to somebody. I mean, if they are, you're going to stop them from doing it because you know that they're going to get in more trouble than it's worth losing your job over, because more than likely you won't. But yeah, I just love to Johnny. Yeah, I've seen people in security literally pick up JD and move him. Yeah, I can see that, but also there's a big difference whenever you're your personal security.
I don't think that's an evidence, Your Honor.
Hold on, it's not an evidence.
Are plaintiffs exhibit 380A?
I don't
Look at
believe
that
any of the
look.
recordings from Australia in evidence, Your Honor.
I don't have
I
anything
think
in
this.
evidence.
There definitely is. It's just of Mr. Depp. We can,
Oh,
I don't have 380 in evidence.
380A.
nice.
380.
Look at that face on that guy. It's like, what? You don't have it in evidence?
Never admitted.
You don't have it in
Never
evidence?
admitted. It was.
Your Honor, the recordings from Australia have other voices on them.
We're
And
only
I
asking
also-
for it's only the clip of Mr. Depp.
Okay, wait,
Well,
I
I
have it. It's actually plaintiffs 380A, minute 33 to 34.
What's the foundation for using it with this witness?
He was at the house.
It's in evidence,
It's in
that's
evidence.
fine. So you're playing that clip, correct?
Correct.
Got it on plaintiffs.
But they can only use a portion of it.
And how you fucked me over and make me feel sick.
I'll be back.
There's still a lot left in the day. Maybe you should dye your hair. I see rose.
Did you hear that, Mr. Connolly?
I did, yes.
And that was the sort of condition Mr. Depp was in when you saw him at the house, correct?
Yes, yes,
Mr. Depp was upset and angry when you saw him at the house, correct?
absolutely, yes.
Okay. Now, did you take Mr. Depp to the hospital?
Along with others, yes.
Is it your testimony that Mr. Depp was coherent at the hospital?
Yes.
Let's show Defendant's Exhibit 370. I'd just like you to look at something for a moment. I'm not putting it. I'm not publishing it. I just want to show them it out.
He heard.
Defendant's Exhibit 370.
Your Honor.
Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a member. How you doing, David? You're a member again. Well, thank you. Appreciate you, brother.
Honor, I'm going to object on foundation grounds. The witness is not even copied on this document.
I'm going to ask him a question and ask him if it refreshes his recollection. That's all I was going to ask him. I can use any document to refresh.
Wait, you want to approach for a second? Let's see what-
Oh yeah. There's certain things they're not going to be able to allow in there. And
If there was any marks on Amber's face,
Was filled with dirt, grime, and paint.
yeah, I think he lost that motion that he wanted. I'm in a video you just posted. Awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. I have to go check that out. As is Farrell. Nice. Very cool. The hell is wrong with that doggo? What doggo? Hey, Christine. Good to see you. Good to see you. I spent all day dealing with my son's car. Oh, sorry to hear that, man. Man, that really sucks. Don't say awesome till you know what it is. Shizzy, be afraid when it comes to David. I have very little to fear. I don't get bothered by much of anything anymore at my age. There's very little that's going to bother me.
Switch that down. You can take it down. Was Mr. Depp's finger was filled with dirt, grime, and paint when you saw it?
Yes.
And now you say you saw no bruises or cuts on Amber on March 8th, 2015, correct?
Correct.
Isn't it true that your main concern was Mr. Depp and getting him out of the house, correct?
Correct.
You weren't concentrating on Amber, correct?
I was close enough. If there was any marks on Amber's face, I would have picked that up in 2 minutes.
As you're
Sure,
trying-
I'd be chained at the Home Office.
As you're trying to pull Mr. Depp out of the house, you're scanning Amber for bruises and cuts
Not scanning, but I'm looking at it.
as you're moving Mr. Depp out of the house, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. How do I know what she's going to lift?
Right.
I'm watching her. When I move a client from a bar situation, a house situation, I watch what's happening around me.
But you're not.
I know where the client is. The client's with me.
Right. The client was with you, and you're not scanning. You didn't scan Miss Heard's body for.
I scan everything.
You scanned everything on her body?
every move. Not everything on her body.
No.
She's wearing long sleeves, from what I recall.
And at the hospital, the doctor was told that Mr. Depp cut his finger with a knife, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And you understand that the damage at the house, Mr. Depp, at Mr. Depp's rented house amounted to about $100,000, correct?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'll allow it. Next question.
You're not a member.
In Hicksville, other than when you first arrived, you didn't go to the trailer that Mr. Depp and Amber were staying in. Is that right?
Only when I delivered them to it.
Right. And then after you delivered them to the,
When I delivered them to it, when we first got there,
right.
we went inside and had a look around. Yeah.
But after that, you never went inside the trailer after that, correct?
Correct.
So you have no idea what went on in the trailer between Mr. Depp and Amber, isn't that right?
I was told.
You have no idea. You don't have any personal knowledge as to
I
what
never
happened.
seen it.
Right.
No, I never seen it. No.
And you have no idea how much damage was done to the trailer, correct? Personal
I
knowledge.
do have
at
an
the time.
idea.
You have no idea what happened to Amber in the trailer, isn't that right?
That's correct.
And you don't. And you talked about that there was tension between Amber and Mr. Depp. You don't know what started the fight, correct?
Correct.
Did you see Mr. Depp grab another woman's arm before they moved off to the truck before the fight started?
No.
What other
Were you
woman was
with
there?
Were you with the company when you were you with the group?
So weird.
No. I was maybe 20 feet away observing. That's my job, not to get involved. I don't sit with my clients in a personal situation. I've just observed.
Now, you testified that at times you saw marks and bruises on Mr. Depp, a fat lip, I think you said. You don't have dates for those times that you saw that, right?
I don't
Hey.
recall. No, you're talking. That's a long time ago. You know. It's,
And you testified in the,
So, giving a shout out to the visitor snafu and abomination over there on the Rumble side. Greetings, good to see y'all. Really, it is. Sorry, I forgot to pop that chat out. Sorry about that, but I'm back. Sorry.
the UK in this. You testified in the UK, correct?
correct.
And you gave a witness statement too in the UK, correct?
Correct.
And you never testified to seeing any marks, bruises, or injuries on Mr. Depp, isn't that right? In the UK,
I wasn't asked in the UK.
but you never testified. You never testified to that, right?
I wasn't asked.
Okay. Now, you talked about a private plane that you saw a plastic lighter bounce off of Mr. Depp's chest, correct?
Correct.
And you said you
Huh?
saw Mr. Depp smirking and then he said, "Was that it? Is that right?"
No.
Okay. You don't know what started the fight there, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you talked about at the lofts, I think you called it in Los Angeles, you saw a Coke can get thrown somewhere in the vicinity of Mr. Depp, correct?
Yeah, I
I've
bet
seen
you had a
a
problem
can.
with throwing
Right,
shit.
Coke can. I couldn't tell you what kind it was.
Okay. And you don't know what happened before you saw the Coke can get thrown, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And
Good, I'm sure.
you talked about this picture of that you took in Southeast Asia, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you never mentioned in the UK matter or in your witness statement, Mr. Depp having scratches and bruises on the train, correct?
I was never prompted. I was never asked.
You gave a witness statement that gave the what you saw in the relationship between Amber and Mr. Depp, and you never talked about bruises or cuts on Mr. Depp in Southeast Asia, correct?
No, I wasn't asked that.
Okay. Now, you said only Johnny could make requests for a private dining car. Isn't that right?
I said that.
What?
Only Johnny needed a private dining car. Miss Heard didn't need a private dining car, correct?
That would be correct. Oh yeah, that would definitely be correct. Yeah, only Johnny Depp would need a private dining car, but Johnny didn't want a private dining car.
Ah,
Now, you were not present in Miss Heard and Mr. Depp's cabin on the train, right?
No.
And if a fight occurred,
That's correct.
and if a fight occurred in the cabin, you'd have no way of knowing about it, right?
I wouldn't know.
And you don't know if Mr. Depp was strangling Miss Heard, do you?
No, I wouldn't know.
You don't know if Mr. Depp had his shirt wrapped around Amber's neck, do you?
Objection, speculation, cumulative.
Oh, no, I wouldn't know. The only reason I would know anything in that cabin.
No, okay, you wouldn't know. You answered. Sir,
you would know if Amber had a gun pointed at Johnny's head. You wouldn't know if Johnny was hanging around or out the window by her feet. You wouldn't. And you can come up with all
if you
kinds of
put up
stuff like
these,
that. It's
Plaintiff
just
Exhibit
ridiculous.
120, and this is at 1.
There's a word for not being able to have that.
Has been in evidence
Well, I have
before.
120A, 120.
And I think if I'm not mistaken, what the objection was on that was objection. It was speculative, cumulative. But I think there's a word for that in law. MLS, maybe you know what that is, where basically they just start throwing out stuff and you wouldn't know X, Y, or Z. You wouldn't know X, Y, or Z. Well, that's pretty obvious. I wouldn't know it because I wasn't there, and throwing things in there to make it sound like all these horrible things were happening. I think there's a word for that, but I don't know what it is. It's just stupid. It's my opinion.
120B and 120C.
So I think this would be 120D if it.
120D.
Yeah. And I would.
Damn,
Connolly,
there you
I'm
go.
asking you questions about the fourth one down. Do you see that?
Yeah, it's not very clear though. I can't.
I'm going
It's
to
tiny.
objection. The document is hearsay. I don't know what the exception would be.
Okay, hold. If you want to come forward, let's.
And yeah, they didn't let any of that in.
Mr. Connolly, you agree that Ms. Heard's been nothing but respectful.
No. She's getting donuts to sit down inside the gym because there's a lot of gym rats in there that normally wouldn't be in there. Everybody's made their New Year's resolution to go to the gym, work out. They want to drop those hundreds of thousands of pounds that they put on over the winter. And you know, she's like, it's normally really quiet here, but of course New Year brings out all of the fresh, you know, people that are just a pain in the butt and makes the gym life not so enjoyable. So that's what she's doing, getting donuts to just push them over the edge.
Unprofessional to you, correct?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I have nothing further.
All right, redirect.
Yeah, she's more worried about it now because she's
Mr.
trying to get her
Connolly, very
workouts
briefly,
in.
when you were in Ms. Heard's presence in the house in Australia on the day that Mr. Depp lost his fingertip, how far away were you from Ms. Heard?
On the exit, on the egress, about 3 feet, 4 feet at most.
Can you estimate for us about how long you were in Ms. Heard's presence?
Oh, you know what? Best way to do this is think about it and count it out. Okay. 15 seconds, 20 seconds.
How was the light?
Well, it's Australia. The door is massive. It's a wall of glass behind them. The light is absolutely fine. You couldn't get better.
All right, I have nothing further.
All right, is this witness subject to recall?
I think so. Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Connolly, since you're subject to recall, do not discuss your testimony with anybody and don't watch anything about this case, okay? But you're free to log off
Of course,
today.
Your Honor, yeah.
All right, you're free to log off today, though,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, your next witness, Mr. Jenkins. Yeah.
Leroy Jenkins.
Yes, I can, Your Honor.
All right, perfect. Thank you, sir. All right. If you raise your right hand for me, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth on a penalty of law? All
I do.
right, thank you, sir.
Leroy
Good morning, Mr.
Jenkins.
Jenkins. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
And could you please state your full name for the record?
Starling Jenkins III.
Oh,
And Mr.
if you would have
Jenkins,
said
where do you
Leroy, I would have been
Los
laughing.
Angeles, California.
And what is your occupation?
Executive chauffeur, security.
And
Nice.
how long have you worked as an executive chauffeur and in security?
Executive chauffeur for 30 years, security for 8 years.
And what
Nice.
occupations did you hold prior to working as an executive chauffeur and in security?
Route sales executive and United States Marines.
I like this
Mr. Jenkins,
guy.
do you know the plaintiff in this case, Johnny Depp?
Yes, I do.
And when did you first meet Mr. Depp?
1993.
How did you first meet Mr. Depp?
He used delivery service to transport him to and from.
And so in the 30 or so years that you've known Mr. Depp, what services have you performed for him over the course of that period?
Child care, animal care, personal assistant duties, security, and transportation.
And could you estimate approximately how many hours per week would you provide those services to Mr. Depp?
40 to 60 hours.
And
Nice.
can you describe generally your
Solid
interactions
work
with
right
Mr.
there.
Depp in the time that you've worked for him?
Pleasant, always upbeat.
Do you know the defendant in this case, Amber Heard?
Yes.
And when did you first meet Miss Heard?
After the filming of the Rum Diary project.
And can you describe generally your interactions with Miss Heard?
Pleasant, cordial, very respectful.
So in your time working with Mr. Depp, did you ever observe Mr. Depp's and Miss Heard's interactions with one another?
Yes.
And can you describe those interactions generally, please?
Very cordial, very aware that people are around them, very, very friendly.
Did you ever see them argue?
Yes.
Can you describe what you observed about those arguments?
It would be initiated by her. She would try to engage with him. He would tell me to turn the music up.
So where did these arguments take place?
In the car.
Do you recall how many times you witnessed them argue?
Twice.
Mr. Jenkins, turning your attention to April 21st, 2016, can you tell the jury what you recall about that day?
Could you repeat the question, sir?
Sure. So turning your attention to April 21st, 2016, can you tell the jury what you recall about that day?
It was the birthday party being held at the penthouse.
And when you say the penthouse, what are you referring to?
It's the Eastern Columbia building.
And what were you doing that evening?
That evening, I was
Hey, T-Rex. All right, places to do and people to be. Y'all be safe. Try to remember to laugh, because if you don't, life kind of sucks. Oh, well, kind of. I laugh all the time, especially at myself. Do you believe any of JD's people embellished for him? Or do you think they were pretty straightforward? That's a serious question right there. I mean, I think they left things out. I don't think they embellished, but I think that they were a little more reserved on things that they spoke about. They probably saw more than they'll ever admit to. And I would say there were probably much worse things going on than they would admit to. I think they downplayed a lot of the way that he was towards her and the way that she was towards him. But that's my opinion. You know, I don't think they embellished. I think they're probably more reserved, because you have to understand these people still want to have a job. If they embellish for him, it does them no good. If they come across being straightforward and maybe withholding things, that goes a little bit more towards the credibility. Think about it. Would you want to hire someone that talks about every little conversation that you have? Personally, imagine you're with a group of your girlfriends and having a conversation about, your husbands or something, and then find out that someone in your group goes over and tells all the husbands what you were saying about your husband. That could be a little bit weird, because now you don't want to say too much now in front of your friends. So I think feels like they still have to find work in Hollywood after JD, no matter what the outcome. Yeah. So I don't see embellishing is going to do him any good. I don't think.
Assign security on the detail.
Were you inside the residence while the birthday party was taking place?
I was in the CP, the command post that's stationed on the same floor, right outside of the elevator.
And did you interact with Ms. Heard at all that evening?
Yes, I did. In regards to getting her clients keys, parking, making sure no one else was on the floor that wasn't invited to the party.
Were there any issues at the birthday party at the time that you were present at the penthouses?
No issues except for the boss did not show up.
And do you recall what time you left that day?
11:15 p.m. that evening.
And Mr. Jenkins, what happened the next day, April 22nd, 2016?
I arrived early, 10:45. Went upstairs to the penthouse. I was informed by Amber that
Here's hoping you didn't make that MLS video. No, I made a different one. Pal's entrance is my favorite. Oh, nice. Very cool. I was reflecting more on the smuggling out the dogs comment, and this guy, his accounts are completely disputed by Amber Heard, and I believe he impeaches himself. Smuggling dogs out comment. Well, here's the thing. If I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong on this, I think this is the gentleman that came back on the plane along with Mr. Connolly. These two gentlemen are the ones that came back on the plane with the dogs to get them back out of the country because they shouldn't have been there. I could be wrong on that, but I think these are the two gentlemen. And so it was her dogs that were brought in, or their dogs that were brought in, and she was told not to bring them in. I don't know how she would have gotten on the plane with staff and security probably telling her, no, this is a bad idea. You don't want to do this. Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, they may have left stuff out. Went to Coachella with her. No, I think he was also on the plane back. I think he was.
she got in a fight with Johnny last night. She threw his personal property over the balcony into the streets, 9th and Broadway.
And when you say personal property, what are you referring to?
Yeah, this is Coachella.
His phone, wallet, credit cards, passports, everything that's in his wallet.
Did Ms. Heard say anything else to you about this altercation?
Nothing except they were fighting.
So what did you do after Ms. Heard informed you that she had thrown Mr. Depp's personal property off the balcony?
Formulated a plan with Norm from the office to use the Find My Phone app, hit the streets, and try to get lucky.
Did you end up finding Mr. Depp's phone?
Yes, I did. In Skid Row, probably 6 miles from the house.
Damn.
And who had the phone?
A homeless gentleman, unhoused gentleman. I approached him about the phone. He was honest. He returned it. I gave him a reward for it.
And what was the reward?
$420, chicken tacos, chips, apples, Fiji water.
After finding Mr. Depp's phone, what did you do?
I returned to the penthouse, showed the phone to Amber that I retrieved it. I left it in the CP for the evening security to return it to Mr. Depp.
So after figuring out things with the phone, what happened next?
What happened next is I walked Amber to the car. We got everybody in the car. She's on her way to Coachella. I went back to the penthouse to retrieve the dogs and the luggage.
Were you also going to Coachella with Ms. Heard?
Yes, I was. I was the transportation for Amber and her friends while she was at Coachella.
So how did you get to Coachella?
Drove the SUV, provided by Johnny, put the animals and all the luggage in, and headed out to the venue.
And the morning of April 22nd, did you see any injuries on Miss Heard?
No marks, no injuries.
And so driving out to Coachella, did anyone drive with you?
I was in the car alone except for the animals.
And how did Miss Heard get to Coachella?
She drove a Mustang.
Was anyone else in her car?
She was with, I believe, her sister and one other friend, her sister, Savannah.
And do you know how many days Miss Heard and her friends were planning to stay at Coachella?
So the following Monday, I believe it's the 25th of April, we departed.
And do you recall where Miss Heard was staying at Coachella?
We were staying at the Parker boutique hotels there in Palm Springs, outside of Coachella.
Were you also staying at the Parker Hotel?
I also stayed there
And so did you attend Coachella for work or for pleasure?
for work.
And what was your job that weekend?
Provide security and transportation, animal care, Amber's rolling assistant, take care of her, whatever she needed while she was there at the Parker or in out traveling.
Do you recall what time approximately you arrived at the Parker Hotel on April 22nd?
Around 5:30ish, maybe 5:45.
And what did Miss Heard and her friends do that evening, April 22nd?
That evening, we arrived. We were assigned the rooms. We went with the staff of the Parker Hotel around to the suites where we were staying. They let us in. We let all the luggage in, and we proceeded to plan for that evening to depart by 7:15ish to get to the festival there.
And how did Miss Heard and her friends get from the hotel to the festival that evening?
I drove them directly to there.
And did you have any discussions with Miss Heard on the way to Coachella that evening?
We had a conversation pertaining to the surprise she left in the boss's bed prior to leaving the apartment.
And when you refer to the surprise in the boss's bed, what are you referring to?
The defecation.
And what did Miss Heard say about the defecation in Mr. Depp's bed?
She just
A
smirks.
horrible practical joke gone wrong.
Mr. Jenkins, what observations did you make about Miss Heard at Coachella in April 2016?
She had no worries. She was there to whoop it up. It's her birthday. She's with her friends.
And how often were you with her that weekend?
Was with her every day. She went to the venue from the time that we interacted with the wallet incident, the night before at the party.
Yeah,
all the way
the girl
until
bee.
Monday, we returned with the pets and the luggage.
And did you observe anything about Miss Heard's health that weekend?
She got sick.
Do you know
She
what
got sick at the venue second night.
Do you know what caused Miss Heard to be sick?
Drugs.
She was eating the magic mushrooms and drinking red wine on an empty stomach.
And how do you know that she drank red wine and took magic mushrooms?
Because she said she did.
I saw the room service and I went to their room to collect them to take them out that evening.
So is that
I
something?
had it in the car.
Excuse me. Is that something you witnessed?
I witnessed it.
And what did you do in response to Miss Heard being sick at Coachella?
I collected her, got her in the vehicle. She didn't want anyone else to know that she was sick. Take her back to the Parker alone. I took her to the 7-Eleven where I retrieved hydrating fluids, Advil, and let her have those. Got her back to the Parker, got her into the suite, and then went back to pick up everyone else.
And Mr. Jenkins, when you said Miss Heard got sick, do you recall what her symptoms were?
Yeah, she was throwing up.
Mr. Jenkins, did you see any injuries of any kind on Miss Heard April 22nd, 2016?
No injuries.
I'll sustain. So, yes.
What about the rest of that weekend, Mr. Jenkins? Any injuries that you saw?
No injuries.
Have you ever witnessed any physical abuse between Mr. Depp and Miss Heard?
No.
Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. Nothing further.
All right, cross-examination.
So he was not on the plane coming back. I think there was somebody that was on the plane coming back.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jenkins.
Good afternoon.
So just to be clear on the chronology, you met Mr. Depp in 1993, is that right?
Correct.
And you've worked for him ever since?
Off and on? Yes.
Okay. And your salary's paid by Mr. Depp, correct?
No.
Salary? No.
You receive pay for the work that you do for Mr.
Yes.
Depp, correct?
Of course. Yes. Of course.
And what Mr. Depp's security is your highest priority in your job, correct?
Yes, it is.
You're loyal to Mr.
His
Depp.
and his family. And his family.
You're loyal to Mr. Depp, right?
Yes.
Now, I want to turn to the night of April 21st, 2016. just to recap, you said you were working a security shift at Amber's birthday at the Eastern Columbia building that evening, correct?
Yes.
And you said that your shift ended around 11:15, correct?
Correct.
And you said the boss still hadn't shown up by the time that you left the Eastern Columbia building, right?
Correct.
So you have no idea where Mr. Depp was or what he was doing from 9:30 p.m. that evening until at least 11:15 when you left the Eastern Columbia building. Right?
Objection. Speculation.
No, I do know what he was doing. He was attending to his mother.
You weren't with him.
I had information.
Okay. All right. That's information that you received, but you have no personal knowledge of that.
I have no reason to doubt it. It came from Sean.
Okay.
I have no reason to doubt it.
Okay. So Mr. Bett told you that?
The boss's outlet.
Right. Mr. Bett told you that he was tending to his mother that night?
He didn't say mother. He said the boss was outlet. I'm aware of what the situation was, the time frame. He's with his mother.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. And did you have any understanding that he had a meeting with?
Thought he was going to
justice
jump on
manager earlier
something.
that evening where he was told that he was running out of money and that his taxes hadn't been paid in years? Did you have any understanding of that? from Mr.
Objection.
Bett or anyone else?
Objection. Foundation calls for speculation.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
And you didn't see Mr. Depp that night, right?
No, I did not.
So you came back the next morning to escort Amber to Coachella, right?
Yes.
And you say that Amber told you that she had thrown Mr. Depp's phone off the roof?
Correct.
And did you come to understand that Mr. Depp had thrown her phone off the roof that evening prior to when Amber threw Mr. Depp's phone off the roof?
She informed me of that.
Okay, she informed you of that. So when you went outside to look for Mr. Depp's phone, you weren't looking for Miss Heard's phone, were you?
She had her phone. She had her phone. She was trying to re-download and back it up.
Okay, so you were only looking for Mr. Depp's phone when you went downstairs to try to, you found it with an unhoused person, you said, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and did I hear you right that you said it was 6 miles away where you found the phone?
Correct.
It actually wasn't 6 miles away. It was actually right below the building, the ECB
No, it
building,
was
correct?
not.
Okay,
No, it was not.
can you pull up, does he have a way to see documents that just him, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay. Could you please pull up the witness statement, Mr. Jenkins? Mr. Jenkins, do you remember giving testimony on Mr. Depp's behalf in the UK trial?
Yes, I did.
Yes, I do.
You gave a witness statement first in writing, correct? Do you remember that?
Oh God, he thinks he's going to
You were
impeach him on this, but he
examined by the
doesn't.
attorneys in the trial, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Can you see on your screen the statement? Do you see a witness statement?
Yes, I see it.
You know, it's funny that he would say unhoused person because every time I go outside, I'm an unhoused person. It's weird. You like that?
Uh-huh.
There's witness statement of Starling Jenkins, right?
Correct.
And this is the statement that you wrote and signed as part of the UK trial on behalf of Mr. Depp, correct?
Correct.
Okay. If you can scroll, please, to page 3 of the document. And Mr. Jenkins, I'm going to read you what you wrote in paragraph 13.
Okay.
And we can go from there. On paragraph.
So what's really typical with these morons that I've noticed is they think they've got this big gotcha because they didn't read the whole thing. More than likely, and I may be fuzzy on this, more than likely, they found the phone. It was 6 miles away. They brought the guy back there to the place, back to the condo or the apartment, whatever, where he was housed, so they could give him payment. And because they think they've got some big gotcha, well, we return the phone at this point in time. If I'm not mistaken, that's what they're going to end up saying. It's a stupid point to make. It really is. Didn't even understand sexting. He's just an idiot. Well, yeah, that's what he does with Elaine.
13, you wrote in your witness statement in the UK trial, the Find My iPhone application indicated that Johnny's phone was somewhere on the streets below the balcony of their residence. Did I read that right?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, they wouldn't be in another building. Oh, Jesus.
If that's what it says, that's what it says. I'm telling you, the phone was in Skid Row.
Okay,
I have
so
a photo of the gentleman that found it. I have the location where the phone was found.
Isn't Skid Row just a few blocks away from the Eastern Columbia building?
No, it's on 6th and Main, I guess, depending on what area you are.
Okay, so one of these two sworn statements, either what you just said in court just now that it was found 6 miles away, or this, one of these is false, correct?
No.
It's just inadequate as far as the location. The location is not below the penthouse. It's not on Broadway. It was found on Broadway by the unhoused man, and then he lives off of Skid Row.
Okay. Now let's move on to Coachella, please. You were with Amber and her friend.
Ah, Jesus Christ. See what I mean? It's just like, oh, we've got you on this. There's no gotcha. You guys are idiots.
Friends that weekend at Coachella. And you testified a little bit about what you saw. Is it fair to say that Amber and her friends were having a good time that weekend?
Yes, it was.
And there were thousands of other people at that music festival too, correct?
Yes, but I wasn't in charge of them, asshole.
Were you aware that Amber's sister Whitney was pregnant and sober that weekend?
Could have fooled me.
Wasn't my information, wasn't my knowledge.
She was
Were you
sucking
aware
back
that
some
Amber's sister
alcohol.
Whitney threw up in a parking lot that weekend?
No.
Okay.
Well,
To your
that's what
knowledge and
happens whenever
understanding,
you're
Mr.
a cum
Jenkins,
guzzler.
there's nothing wrong with wanting to spend time with your friends at a music festival after being abused by your husband, right?
Objection.
What abuse?
That's not an abnormal thing to want to be around your friends, correct?
She was partying it up with her friends. She was partying it up.
And you said you didn't hear anything about, she didn't say anything to you about domestic violence having taken place, correct?
Nothing in the car pertaining to that.
Would it surprise you that she might not want to talk to someone who had worked for her husband for around 23 years at that point about domestic
She was having no problem talking about taking a dump on his bed.
violence? Would that surprise you?
Objection, speculation, Your Honor.
Sustain the objection. Next question.
Ms. Heard texted you on May 12th, 2016, asking you to call her, correct?
Correct.
And you did not bother to respond to that text, correct?
Correct.
And that was the last communication that you had with her, correct?
Correct.
No, that was the last communication she had with me.
You weren't at Amber's house on Orange Avenue in March 2013 when Johnny was there, correct?
Yeah, Elaine doesn't know what
I'm familiar with the
Elaine doesn't know what a fucking law degree is.
address.
But you didn't enter the house at any point in March 2013, correct?
Depending on if he had luggage or gifts going upstairs, I might have.
But you didn't hang out with them inside the house, right?
Hurry up and wait in the car, sir.
And you weren't at the Hicksville Trailer Palace in late May or early June 2013, right?
No.
You weren't on a plane flight from Boston to Los Angeles in May 2014, correct?
Well, he's not giving testimony on these. I don't understand why he's even bringing them up. It's not. It's like he thinks he's got some big gotcha on this guy, and he doesn't. It's stupid.
With Johnny and Amber. You weren't with Mr. Depp and Amber in the Bahamas in August 2014, correct?
Correct.
You weren't with Mr. Depp and Amber in Tokyo in January 2015, correct?
Don't have my Tokyo driver's license.
No, I was not there. Correct.
You weren't with Mr. Depp and Amber in Australia in March 2015, correct?
Correct.
You weren't at Thanksgiving with them in Penthouse 5 of the Eastern Columbia building in November 2015, correct?
So what does this have to do with anything?
I believe I was there.
You
I
didn't.
might
You
have
weren't.
been assigned detail. I don't have the schedule, but I might have been assigned the detail.
You weren't-
It's a holiday.
Sure. You don't have any specific recollection of that one way or the other, though, correct?
Yeah, she was
I would probably
immemorable.
say I was on duty there.
Just like
Okay.
her role in Aquaman,
Okay.
too.
You weren't celebrating Thanksgiving in Penthouse 5 with them that evening, correct?
I was in the CP,
Okay, and that's a separate room, correct?
separate room on the same level. Correct.
And you weren't in the Bahamas in late December 2015, correct? With them?
Correct.
You weren't in the ECB with just the two of them the night of December 15th, 2015, correct?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That is right before the Christmas.
Well, how about we just stop naming all the fucking places he wasn't with them and just concentrate on the places where he was with them? Jesus Christ, this guy's a fucking moron. I'm sorry, but this is stupid. How many places he named? You weren't with her here. You weren't with them there. You weren't with them there. Correct. I mean, I wasn't with Amber whenever she was taking a dump last week either. You want to bring that up too? I mean, come on. Jesus Christ.
Christmas party. I believe. Correct.
And finally, you weren't in the penthouse of the Eastern Columbia building on the night of May 21st, 2016 with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard, correct?
Sorry, Brandon.
Correct.
And you'd agree that you have no personal knowledge of what
Hi,
went on
Brandon.
with Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard behind closed doors, correct?
Correct.
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, redirect.
Just very quickly, Your Honor, do we have Mr. Jenkins' witness statement? Or perhaps?
Leroy Jenkins. I just wanted to say it one time.
And if we could go to the third page, please. Mr. Jenkins, directing your attention to paragraph 13, which Mr. Rottenborn had you look at just a second ago.
Yes.
He read the first sentence of that witness statement. The Find My iPhone application indicating that Johnny's phone was somewhere on the streets below the balcony of the residence. Walked out. Could you please read for the jury the second part of that paragraph?
I walked out onto the street, did not see the phone. I then asked several homeless people if they had the phone. One homeless man admitted to me that he had the phone, returned the phone to me in exchange for the following: $425 in cash, 3 chicken tacos, 2 bags of chips, 4 apples, 2 apples, 4 bottles of water.
I'm dead.
So do you recall where you
Love
found
it.
the iPhone that day?
Damn it. That's awesome. Why are you dead, girl?
I just said it in the private.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No, wrong one.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Like, how the fuck?
I mean, if you want to pull up that feed, I'll show it.
It's just a screenshot.
Oh, you
No.
haven't seen the whole feed?
I'm looking for the whole list. I want to
Oh my
see it.
God. Give me just a second. All right. I will show it because
Yo, Stephen Hawking is on the list. Like,
Yeah.
how?
I don't know. I've got something to do
But also,
with this.
there's more ways than one, so I get it. But what the fuck?
Let's see. See if we've got it here. Oh, let's see.
Eris, all right, you two, we want in on the. Oh, you have the list.
Where is it? Open a new tab. There's that. And that's not the one that I saw that everyone had scrolling across. There was one that just had it scrolling, this whole list scrolling across there. That was 20 minutes ago.
Prince Andrew, of course.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Stephen Kaufman, Alan Derswich, Glennon Stephen, Derswich.
Yes, Bill C is on the list.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a.
Oh, I found the PDF.
Oh, did you? All
Yeah.
right. But bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up.
Downloading it.
Nice. Yeah, Stephen Hawking. I'm trying to picture that.
That's why I was laughing. I was like, what the
do
fuck?
it to me one more time. Yeah, Hillary is on that list also. Let me zoom in on that there. What we got here? We've got, let's see.
This is from the transcript of the proceedings. So the list should be somewhere in there. They blacked out so many parts of it.
Well,
Where the
yeah.
frick is the list?
Lightfoot is in there too.
Never mind. I thought I had it. This is
No.
just from the proceedings. I mean, we can do this on another stream
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it on another stream.
now that I have it.
Oh, damn it. Exit full screen. I'm a moron. Share screen. So silly. All right, there we go. Back. Yeah, that's redacted. Is this the client list? Yeah, see, someone had some sort of list and it had a whole bunch of people on there. A lot of notable people like Sarah Silverstein and a few people from like Saturday Night Live and, people like, that you would probably go, oh, I know those. But like I said, I don't know if that was the true list or that was just something that someone made up. It's always hard to tell. That's why I was saying I'm a little skeptical on YouTube unless it's like an actual court document that contains it, like in some sort of exhibit. Then I'm like, okay, I can believe that.
Objection asked and answered.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Mr. Jenkins, moving to Coachella, Mr. Rottenborn asked you about Whitney Heard. Do you know who that is?
Yes, I do.
Do you know the difference between Whitney Heard and Amber Heard?
Yes, I do.
And who was sick that
One
day?
is the boss's wife. One is the boss's sister-in-law.
Who was sick that day at Coachella?
Amber was sick.
Thank you. Nothing further.
All right, is this witness subject to recall?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jenkins, you're free from testimony and therefore you're free to do whatever you need to do, or you can watch the proceedings. It's up to you, but you're done for today, so thank you, sir. All right, have a good day.
You also.
All right, I think it's close enough to 5:30. I think we've had enough of a week. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to go ahead and be done with the testimony for this week. Although, since I won't see you till Monday, I want to give you the long jury instruction that I give you every Thursday evening, just so we all remember our responsibilities, okay?
Yep. So, yeah, this is his security team right there. Like these guys, so you can tell by the way that they're standing. Security.
Security.
And there's someone back in this area over here too. I guarantee someone's back over here, like keeping an eye out on shit. And this is like assistant, probably another assistant over here on the backside right there. See her feet right there. But yeah, these guys are security. Just the way that they're acting. Well, he might be an attorney, but just the way that they're acting, that's security. Yeah. Just the way that they move. They're just, this guy looks more like he's just, and I'm drawing pictures, and she ran over here and jumped across the fence, and well, he slapped that guy and this guy got out of the way. And why did he just grab her butt? Oh my gosh. And then they ran across this way. Bye-bye. All right. So what we got is we've got day 11, part 1. Well, of course, Whoopi's on the list. That list that I saw, Whoopi Goldberg's on it, but Trump is not on there. Trump never flew on a plane to Epstein Island.
Yeah, I found this one. I'll send it to you on Discord.
Yeah, there was something I saw that was pretty interesting. And
Celine Dion is on there. I would have never thought Celine Dion would be on a list.
yeah, this is that same list that I saw that somebody else had put up there. And like I said, I don't know if this is correct or if this is just made up stuff. Oh,
A lot of them, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, though.
Present stop screen, present share screen. And it was it? That one right there. Yeah, so this is the list that I saw. So you've got Aiken, Al Gore, Al Dershowitz, Al Pinto, Alec Baldwin, Allison Mack, Willis Rogers, Anderson Cooper, Andrea Mitrovic, Andreas Pastranas, Angelina Jolie, Anthony Kiedis, Anthony Weiner, Barack Obama, Ben Affleck, Bernie, Beyonce, Bill, Bob Saget, Bruce Willis, Casey Wasserman, Gollum, Celine Dion, Charles Barkley, Charlie Sheen, Charlie Theron, Charlize, I think is what her name is pronounced as. Cher, Chris Tucker, Chris Wagner, Chris Teigen, Cyndi Lauper, Courtney Cox, Claire Hazel, Demi Moore, Dan Schneider, David Koch, David Spade. It just looks to
Dan
me like
Schneider is the dude, one of the producers or something, or directors, I don't remember, from Nickelodeon.
yeah,
And a lot of the kid actors have came out with allegations towards him.
well, you got
I wouldn't be
Jay-Z,
surprised
Steven
about
Tyler,
him.
Steven Spielberg. Some of these names, it makes no sense whatsoever. I mean, you can sit there and say Whoopi Goldberg. I just don't picture her getting on a plane.
Well, how do we know that someone didn't just take a whole bunch of names of celebrities?
Yeah.
Just
that's what
created a list.
that's why whenever I saw it, I was like, some of these, okay, I can believe Kevin Spacey. Okay.
Yeah. I want to see the whole like court documents.
Right. But then I see names like Gwen Stefani. Why? I mean, that makes no sense. I mean, some of these names make no sense whatsoever. I mean, did they just...
over on Rumble says, "You sure those are the logs from the Maxwell case and not from the case of 2013, I believe." Yeah, that's what we're saying is we don't know if...
Yeah, that's why I was saying I don't know how accurate that is, if it's even true. I saw that one. I was like, I hope this is not the list you're thinking of. That is a Trump hate list. Exactly. That's what it looks like. Vegas judge needed that. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Did you see that video of the Vegas judge?
Is what?
There was a video of a Vegas judge that potentially criminals shared, or he retweeted today, and after she gave like the verdict or whatever, the dude jumped over and attacked her.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was like, what the hell? When you find out you have to wait 5 more years for Epstein client list to be released. That's funny.
I hate Twitter so much.
All right, I'll show it. Share screen, because that's pretty funny.
Don't share what I just sent you on Discord, but
I'll share this one now. Watch this.
Oh yeah, that. The dude next to her was pretty quick, not gonna lie. I mean, he didn't stop him from attacking her, but he was quick to pull him off of her, at least.
That's funny. Sorry. How does the deputies that are there in court not stop somebody from doing that crap? Oh my God. Sorry. It's just horrible. Oh God. Why, oh why? Why, oh why? All right. Okay, here we go.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Your next witness.
So this is what we missed. This is part 1 of day 11.
Dougherty.
Oh, I'm going to speed this up.
Part of the deposition, it will be Mr. Depp's counsel asking the questions, and then it will change, and we'll let you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll hopefully run through this pretty quick also. I think we can keep it under 3 hours. Subtitles on. See, I could picture Amber going to Judge Penny like that. No, I guess that guy's a lawyer, not security. And that girl, she could be a paralegal right back here. She could be a paralegal. Oh, come on, people. Technology, it's a difficult thing. Any boob windows? Yeah, I'm Jessica's boob window. So whenever you look at me, you're seeing her boob.
Yep.
But only one of them.
360 Riverside Drive.
Good morning, Mr. Doherty. Would you please state your full name for the record?
Terrence Doherty.
What is your address?
360 Riverside Drive, New York, New York.
His name is Karen.
I went to Oberlin College. I got a BA there and with majors in history and in English, and I studied viola da gamba performance at the Oberlin Conservatory. I then took 4 years. 4 years after I graduated, I went to Columbia Law School.
In what year did you receive your BA from Oberlin?
1991.
And what did you do in the 4 years between your graduation from Oberlin and going to law school?
I was a kindergarten teacher in the South Bronx at a homeless shelter for a few years. And then I did freelance editing work for an academic press named Routledge, and simultaneously was the writer research assistant to feminist cultural critic Bell Hooks.
And remind me, sir, where you went to law school?
Columbia.
Did you receive your JD from Columbia?
I did.
In what year was that?
1998.
Having received a JD from Columbia, I take it you know what a statute of limitations is. Is that correct?
Correct.
After receiving your JD from Columbia, what did you do in terms of your professional life?
I worked at Fried, Frank, Harris, Shriver, and Jacobson for about 4 years, 3.5, 4 years. I was in their tax department. And after that, I went to work at Patterson Belknap. And I was also in the tax department there, but worked on primarily with their exempt organization clients. Patterson has a large exempt organization client practice.
Is it fair to say that you worked for Mr. Schwartz's firm, Patterson Belknap, from about 2002 until about 2005?
That's exactly right.
Did there come a time you left Patterson Belknap to work for the ACLU Foundation?
Correct.
At the time you left, was the ACLU a client of Patterson Belknap?
Yes.
And it continues to be a client until the present day, correct?
Correct. Correct.
Was there any time between 2005 and today where Patterson Belknap ceased to be a client?
You're muted.
Kurt from Uncivil Law won his copyright strike from Disney, and his stream of Steamboat Willie is back up. Damn Skippy, as it should be. Never should have went down in the first place. Screw you, YouTube. Congratulations, Kurt, for getting that back up and running. I love it. I think that's beautiful. Just emailed you the ultimate boob window. I love it. That's me. I am the boob window.
And of the ACLU?
No. You mean where the ACLU ceased to be client of Harrison, right?
Yes, thank you for that question.
Yeah, no, we've been applying the whole time. Not always with active matters, of course, but applying the whole time.
In what capacity did you start at the ACLU Foundation in 2005?
I was the ACLU's first in-house lawyer. My title was Senior Corporate Counsel.
What were your responsibilities generally when you began as Senior Corporate Counsel at the ACLU Foundation?
My role was to serve as the organization's in-house lawyer and to assess what the needs were for an in-house counsel department or practice at the ACLU.
And I take it you have continued to work as a lawyer at the ACLU on an uninterrupted basis from 2005 to the current day?
Correct. My title changed relatively soon after 2005. In either 2006 or early 2007, my title was changed to general counsel.
Is that still your title today?
It's part of my title. I'm general counsel and I'm also chief operating officer.
To whom do you report?
I report to Anthony Romero, the executive director, chief executive officer.
So that's a direct report. There's no intermediary between the two of you, correct?
Yeah, direct report.
Sitting here today, do you know how much money Ms. Heard has actually donated to the ACLU, actually remitted to the ACLU?
Yes, I do.
How much is that?
So when you say remitted, do you mean direct payments from her personally, or do you mean something, payments on her behalf, or payments, from a donor advised fund that she might have set up, or
We can break it down. Let's first from how much has Ms. Heard paid directly to the ACLU?
That would be $350,000 paid directly.
How much has been paid indirectly and credited to Ms. Heard?
There was $100,000, which was a check from Johnny Depp. There was a $500,000 payment from a donor advised fund at Vanguard. And then there was a $350,000 payment that appears to be from a donor advised fund at Fidelity, making it total $1.2 million.
And when you speak of credited toward Amber Heard, to what are you referring?
And I think I might have done the math wrong. Let me just do the math in my head. It's 700, 800 plus the 5. I think 1.3 is the amount. We received a check from for the $100,000 payment. We received a check from Johnny Depp's representatives, and it was said to be a payment in connection with on behalf of Amber Heard. She confirmed that.
Oh, she looks nervous right now.
Payment from Vanguard Charitable, she confirmed was a payment on her behalf, and the $350,000 payment as well.
When you say credited toward her, what does that mean?
Well, she had, when we initially had contact with Amber Heard in 2016, she indicated her desire to pay $3.5 million to the ACLU, and that was, and these were amounts that were in relation to that, her having expressed that that's what she wanted to pay to the ACLU.
So it's fair to say that she has not donated $3.5 million as of today to the ACLU, true?
That's right.
When you say that Mr. Depp, our client, donated $100,000 to be credited toward Amber Heard, did the ACLU in fact credit that $100,000 toward the $3.5 million Ms. Heard promised to donate to the ACLU?
We do credit it.
Did Ms. Heard direct you to credit it to her account, as it were?
We asked Ms. Heard if we should credit it, and she said that we should.
With what person or entity is Vanguard Charitable associated?
So Vanguard Charitable is a nonprofit that Vanguard, the financial institution, has set up that provides for a wide variety of donor advised funds for individuals to use for their charitable giving. So there are thousands of Vanguard Charitable donor advised funds. If you were asking specifically about the one that we received the $500,000 contribution from, we believe that that is a donor advised fund that was set up by Elon Musk.
Damn. Right there. So this is one that was set up by Elon Musk. This is something that she hasn't paid, but Elon set up for her. Wow. Yeah, Lane Foundation is boring, but this makes a lot of sense. Okay. So Vanguard is a financial institution. If I'm not mistaken, you can basically put the funds into this Vanguard charitable thing. And they'll put it in hold. And what they'll do is they will invest part of that money in like very low income things. So as you're chipping into it, they can be doing donations on a periodic basis. Okay. And so you're not spending as much. Think about this. If you put $500,000 into an account, and how much interest does that draw over a year? And you can contribute a percentage of that. So if it's what, 1%, just a rough estimate of 1% interest that you're drawing. So what, 10% at the most? So $500,000, $500, $5,000 gets contributed out on a regular basis. The more money that you put into it, as you put that money in there, it's drawing interest and you're just contributing that interest. So it's a shitty way of doing it, but this way you save some of the money that you had, and then you can donate it all if you want to, whenever it reaches a certain point. Or you can, pull it all out and say, screw you. It's just sets it up for a regular timely donation. That's all. I could be wrong. I'm no financial planner, but that's how I would do it if I wanted to save some of those funds.
Who is Elon Musk?
He's a tech entrepreneur.
And isn't he also a donor to the ACLU Foundation in his own right?
Yes.
But it's your testimony that as to the $500,000 that came from Vanguard Charitable, that was associated with Elon Musk, correct?
We believe so, but it is not conclusive.
Did the ACLU have any communications with Elon Musk about the $500,000 contribution?
Yes.
And please describe those communications.
There is a document that we produced that Elon Musk.
She really gets nervous
regarding the $500,000 contribution.
What did Ms. Heard tell Mr. Romero or the ACLU about her donation and how much she was going to contribute?
There were communications back and forth between the ACLU and Ms. Heard, including a thank you acknowledgement letter that was sent under Mr. Romero's name to Ms. Heard, thanking her for the $350,000 contribution, noting that it was part of her intention to make a $3.5 million contribution to the ACLU, and Mr. Romero attached to that communication a standard ACLU pledge form, and so that was the communication. We were aware very early on that her intention to contribute the $3.5 million to us was half of her $7 million divorce proceedings. I don't recall which specific communication with us gave us that knowledge.
What, if any?
Yeah. So this kind of pledge. So a pledge form, basically you're saying that this is what you plan on doing with a certain amount of money that you're going to donate to them. It's so they can budget shit out. That's all. It serves no real purpose that I know of, that except for them to budget things out. It's like saying, hey, I pledge, $100,000 to Jessica. Doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to give her $100,000. I've just sort of set this aside for you. I'm weird, I guess.
Understanding
You're not weird.
The ACLU have prior to the publication of the op-ed
Yeah, I'm weird.
about Ms. Heard's plans to dispose of the other half of the $7 million settlement, or the other $3.5 million.
Yes, we understood that the other $3.5 million, the other half, was going to a children's hospital in Los Angeles.
When did the first donation, the $350,000 from Ms. Heard, actually arrive at the ACLU?
It was very soon after the communication between Elon Musk and Anthony, and I believe that it was that communication was in August of 2016, and it was shortly thereafter.
Please describe your conversations with Ms. Weitz.
I asked Ms. Weitz whether it was her decision to ask Ms. Heard to be an ACLU ambassador, and she indicated that it was. I asked Ms. Weitz to describe what are the criteria for, sorry, a calendar thing popped up. What are the criteria for asking for becoming an ACLU ambassador?
Is important.
And what were the reasons why she thought that Ms. Heard would be an appropriate ACLU ambassador?
How did Ms. Weitz respond?
She said that ACLU ambassadors are people who are artists or influencers that are aligned with one or two ACLU policy issues. And the criteria for determining whether somebody can be an ambassador is that they have prior expertise in that policy area, that they can speak in detail about the area, that they are aligned with the ACLU's policy views of the area, and that they have significant following so that their communications to the public that we support reach a wide variety of people.
Does that make sense? They're just a brand ambassador. So they like I could never become, well, I guess I could if I had enough followers, but I could never be an ambassador for the ACLU because I don't stand for, whatever cause that they have. Plus I don't have, 200 million people following me or know of who I am and that kind of stuff. So, the people like Amber Heard will get paid money by donors to show up to speak in an ACLU conference, speaking on something that the ACLU stands for, like, physical abuse, alcohol and drug abuse, something of that sort, women, anything, anything that has to do with civil liberties. Yeah.
Of those criteria, which did Ms. Weitz identify as the most important, if any?
I don't think there's any that she did not identify any as the most important.
What kind of thing did Ms. Weitz tell you about Ms. Heard's expertise in women's rights?
Ms. Weitz said that she had arranged a meeting between Ms. Heard and representatives of our Women's Rights Project and our Reproductive Freedom Project, and Ms. Heard spoke with such clarity and expertise on issues of gender-based violence that she decided that she would be an appropriate person to ask to become an ACLU ambassador, and she did so.
And there it is. Women's violence. Mm-hmm.
What, if anything, did Ms. Weitz tell you about Ms. Heard's significant following?
Ms. Weitz said that she looked at Ms. Heard's social media.
Look at that face. She is pissed. Oh, she's so pissed.
Anything else?
No, not that she said to me.
Oh.
All right, let's look to topic 6. What, if anything, did you do to prepare to testify about your role, the ACLU's role in the conception, preparation, drafting, or publication of the op-ed?
I reviewed the documents that we produced. I had 3 meetings with our lawyers. I spoke with Ms. Weitz and Mr. Romero.
Please describe your discussions with Ms. Weitz.
I asked Ms. Weitz whether she was involved and what her involvement was with respect to the conception, preparation, drafting, and publication of the op-ed. And she indicated that because of her role as our Director of Artistic Engagement, she was involved in all aspects of the conception, preparation, drafting, and publication, and that the other members of the communications department who worked on this, even though they didn't necessarily report to her in terms of our hierarchy, they reported to her in terms of this specific task. She was the person who was the director of this project.
Did Ms. Weitz tell you that she participated in the drafting of the op-ed?
Yes.
Other than Ms. Weitz, were there any other lawyers at the ACLU involved in the drafting of the op-ed?
Ms. Weitz is not a lawyer. So were there lawyers involved in the drafting of the op-ed? I believe it was the drafting of the op-ed was all done within the communications department.
Damn.
What is Ms. Weitz's academic background?
I don't.
That right there would make me not want to donate a damn thing to the ACLU if I were Johnny Depp ever again. For that kind of crap. The ACLU drafted that stuff against him. And that Amber Heard was part of it. Damn.
I don't know her academic background.
Was any ACLU lawyer, and I mean in-house lawyer, involved in the drafting of the op-ed?
I believe the answer is yes. I believe that there are documents that support back and forth between support for the op-ed, but I don't recall. I don't recall.
Sitting here today, do you know how many ACLU lawyers were involved in the drafting of the op-ed?
No, I don't.
Were there any ACLU lawyers involved in the reviewing of the op-ed before it was submitted to the Washington Post?
Yes, there were.
How many?
Yeah, so the Amber Heard pledge had nothing to do with the ACLU that these people raised money for. It was for the Children's Hospital. Yes. Yeah, it was I don't know how much they raised for it, but I don't know if they made good on it. But I think that Johnny actually stepped in and donated quite a bit to the Children's and nothing to the ACLU. Plus his stuff that he does with these Jack Sparrow and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it was over $300K that they raised, something like that. It was a large amount.
I think there were 4.
Were you one of the 4?
No, I was not one of the 4. And to be clear, when what I was referring to were people in our legal department who are experts on women's rights issues. There was nobody from neither I nor anybody on my in-house counsel team was involved in the drafting of the op-ed or the review of the op-ed.
Why not?
We were not involved. We were not brought into the loop. I don't know why.
Is it fair to say that the ACLU didn't think there were any potential legal implications to the ACLU involved in the publication of the op-ed?
I have not spoken with any of the lawyers in the legal department about whether they thought it would be necessary to involve any member of my in-house counsel team on in the review of the op-ed.
Who were the 4 attorneys in-house at the ACLU who were involved in reviewing the op-ed before it was submitted to the Washington Post?
Okay, so I was referring to people in the legal department, not the in-house counsel's office.
Yep.
The legal department who do our work, our civil liberties litigation and advising on legal issues relating to civil liberties. And I believe that the op-ed before was reviewed by Lenora Lapidus, David Cole.
Oh yeah,
I believe Louise.
Oh yes, most definitely.
for sure.
And there may have also been a fellow that was involved in reviewing it.
That is not true. I would disagree. And the reason I say that is look at Captain Gory.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't he FaceTime him wearing it?
Yes, he did. So yeah, he's put the costume on. Whether he's done it for Children's or anything like that, but I know that Johnny Depp has donned it on since then, but I don't know if he's done that for Children's. Yeah, Captain Corey. Yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah, we all make those. Trust me.
These are all.
We won't hold it over you.
A number
at least
of
not for
back and forth
long.
emails that we produced that will indicate specifically who those people were.
Okay, let's move to Exhibit 2, please.
You think this guy's lighting the loafers, Jessica?
What?
You think this guy might be lighting the loafers?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay. I just,
I had to
Mr.
take
Doherty, have you
a
ever seen
nice
this
hard
document
look at him.
Yes.
What is it?
These are conversations within the ACLU communications department about Ms. Heard donations to the ACLU and the possible engagement of that issue as a communications matter for the ACLU.
yeah, sweet little guy, may rest in peace. And it's that was a rough one to watch. Yeah, they're not going to do that. They let him do his thing, because here's the thing. It does good for him to do that. Because it looks like it makes Disney look good. And I agree. Why would they stop him? I mean, that would be just like they stop Captain Jack from visiting. Let him do his thing, you know, and best not to get into argument. If he starts tossing kids out a window, you might want to, you know, disassociate from him. But
I
outside of that,
wish I was lucky enough to have been at Disneyland when he would dress up and go into the Pirates attraction and pretend to
Yeah.
be one of the animatronics and scare the shit out of people.
Oh, that's so awesome.
But
you would have loved it. You would have just been like, yes, that made my year.
Hell yeah.
I mean, even I agree, and I don't go to Disney or anything like that, but that would have been pretty freaking awesome. I would have been like, damn.
Well, my parents took me to Disneyland when I was a toddler, but I don't remember any of that shit, so I don't count it. I only remember going to Disneyland twice. Once when I was like 13, and then once in 2017. I was like, I didn't sleep all night. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Disneyland with my cousins. I called into my work. I called out, said I was sick, and we went to Disneyland instead.
Yeah, there will never be another Captain Jack. Yeah. My older brother and sister were on the Bozo show. You're too young to know what that is. That may have also only been local in Chicago. I wanted Johnny Depp back for Disney for more Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, I have to agree. I've never been to Disneyland or Disney World. Yeah, neither have I. But I liked the first one, and I think it was the second or third one.
Mm-hmm.
Were good. Beyond that, I may have seen them, but I don't think I remember. The boat that was used for one of the ships is actually in what do you call it? In St. Lucia. One of the ones. Yeah. It's got, you know, electric motor or gas motor in it and stuff like that to pump it around. You know, when I was little, my dad one day was like, you remember? I was small enough to be on your shoulder, Dad. I don't remember.
Exactly. That's how I felt about it. So I was just like, yeah, I've never been to Disneyland besides those 2 times that I can actually remember.
Yeah, we lived in the Midwest, so that wasn't a thing for us. Drink up me hearties, yo ho.
I mean, my mom was thinking about going this summer with like my little cousins and stuff, but I'm like, I would not go anywhere near Disneyland today.
No, it's gotten much more expensive.
It's expensive, and then there's a bunch of like weirdos.
Yeah, creepers.
I'm talking about the pastel-haired people.
Yeah. The kind that you wouldn't want to leave your kid in the same room with them.
Yep.
Ever. Sorry, you're supposed to do but Disney Pass anything over but week.
Mr. Doherty, if we could start in the email in the middle of the first page of Exhibit 2.
The middle of the first page. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes. Who is Stacy Sullivan?
Stacy Sullivan was a senior person in our communications department.
Is she still at the ACLU?
No.
When did she leave?
Well, we fired her ass.
I don't recall the date.
Who is Stephen Smith?
Stephen Smith, at the time.
What's up with these people with these double S names? Stacy Stevens, Stephen Smith. It's like, what are they part of the SS group? I don't understand. It's weird. No, that's so I don't know if you heard that part, but they were saying that their communications department was the one that was writing this stuff for Amber Heard to put put out. I'm like, whoa.
Isn't that plagiarism if she's taking it from someone else?
No. Think about this. I come to you and you ghost write for me. Okay. Hey, Gutters girl, good to see you.
What's up, Gutters girl?
No, what it is basically they worded it in such a way that they thought it would get the best result. And she signed off on it every step of the way, but they did all the legwork because she can't write that well. She doesn't have that much talent. I mean, she might be able to suck a golf ball through a garden hose, but she doesn't have the talent to write. If she did, she would be on the level of people like Johnny Depp that could probably write and direct a movie without second thought. But I don't think she could.
Was our associate director for strategic communications. Now he is the deputy communications director.
Oh.
And I believe you testified earlier that Mr. Romero first came to learn about this through Elon Musk. Is that right?
Correct.
Tell us exactly who ACLU Media is. You said it's
an email account that is monitored by members of the communication staff so that when media inquiries come in, rather than them going to a specific individual in the communications department who could be working on something else or on leave, it goes to a central email account that is then monitored.
You're doing great, Gutter Pub. Gutter Girl. Doing really good.
The appropriate people.
Who's Sandra?
I assume that is Sandra Park, who is a lawyer in our women's rights project.
Wow.
Was Ms. Park involved in the op-ed in any way, either reviewing or approving?
I believe she was.
And that coverage is good for the ACLU, correct?
Yes.
And the press coverage, among other things, enabled the ACLU to promote its work helping victims of domestic violence, correct?
Correct.
Specifically, how does the ACLU record donations?
We record donations in our donor database. It's referred in the trade as a CRM, a constituent record management system. And at this time, we our CRM was a company called PIDI. At this point, our CRM is with Salesforce.
Is there anyone at the ACLU who interacted with PIDI?
There are many members of our development department that interacted with PIDI with respect to the functioning support of that system and the vendor relationship. And I'm not sure if you're asking this, but then there are a number of people in the development department who can input donor information into this database. I don't see them as having interaction with PIDI, but it's with our database.
What type of information is input?
It's very broad. The names, address, contact information.
Yeah, thanks, Eris, for doing that. Appreciate you.
Donations, issues that they are particularly interested in. It's also differs depending on the nature of the donor. If somebody gives a $50 annual donation, that is recorded. If somebody is a $3 million a year donor to the ACLU, a different level of information is recorded in the system.
If someone makes a donation on behalf of another person or to be credited to another person, how is that reported by the ACLU?
It is reported as such, as relating to, but there's many different ways that could somebody could give on behalf of somebody else. People can make a gift in honor of somebody else. People can make a gift in order to fulfill someone else's pledge. People can make a gift. A donor may help bring another donor to the ACLU. All of that information is recorded in our systems.
Can a donor earmark his or her donation for a particular purpose?
Absolutely.
After Ms. Heard announced her donation to the ACLU, what specifically did the ACLU do to document that donation?
Well, we sent out a note to Amber thanking her for the donation. That is likely the contribution acknowledgement letter that Mimi is referring to. And that information was kept in our files. And the information regarding Ms. Heard was recorded in our Salesforce, or at the time, PIDI database.
At the time the ACLU sent Ms. Heard the acknowledgement letter, was it the ACLU's expectation that the $3.5 million would be paid by Ms. Heard all at once in a lump sum?
No, I do not believe it was. I believe that we believe that it would, based on the Elon Musk email, we thought that it might be, that it was intended to be over a 10-year period, although that was never specifically confirmed.
All right. So imagine this. You give me $3 million today, 3.5 million, something like that. You give that to me today. I slap that into a Vanguard fund. It's drawing interest, $300,000. If I'm getting 10% interest, $300,000 a year over 10 years, that's almost 3 million. Yeah, that's not a bad way to do it. That makes sense to you, Jessica? You're going to school for this kind of stuff, right? Finance?
No, not
mean-
finance. Business administration.
I mean, wouldn't that make sense to do that though? Like
To us.
the payouts, say she makes a few payments on it, but eventually she gets that big payout from Johnny Depp. Like they pay the whole thing. Like her lawyers said, you need to pay this whole thing. So she basically over the next 10 years, and that's in 2016. So in 2016. So by 2026, that stuff matures and she's paid that $300,000. Boom, 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 done and over with. But only
Well, I don't think she ever truly intended to donate anything. I think she just did it for
image.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that possibility.
Because if I'm not mistaken,
if she was but if she had a financial advisor, they were probably telling her, this is, I know you're doing this to make it look good, but there's a way that we can leverage this where you're going to get not all of the money, but a good portion of it. You'll end up with a good $5 million.
I mean,
at the end of
if it wasn't all about image for her, then why didn't she just say, hey, you know what? This is what you're going to be giving me. Just give it to them directly instead of trying to be the middleman and trying to play it off as, oh, well, I didn't want to pay taxes for it.
Well, that's the thing, because then she wouldn't have to pay taxes for it. Also, she would end up with a good chunk of change afterwards. But it is about the image. You get this good image because it looks like you're giving them money every year and you become the ambassador for it. You write these nice articles about how shitty other people are. It's such a wonderful little scam, especially if you're a psychotic bitch like she is, then yeah, you can turn around and pull that kind of crap. I mean, that's all I'm saying is for me, if someone was saying, if my wife and I were getting divorced and she was paying me out, what was it, 7 million, something like that. It's paying me out 7 million. And I'm like, I don't need your money because I'm good on my own. I can do my own thing. You're paying me this 7 million. This is not really, worth my time and effort. All of this money is being donated because you are such an evil, horrible person that beat me all the time on a daily basis. And I want to make sure that, this goes to a worthy cause because your money is trash and garbage or whatever. Then, I would just basically donate that money straight out. But that's just me personally. I would just have that money sent directly to them. Maybe get whatever tax benefit I could so I didn't get taxed the shit out of money that came through. But if it was still dirty money, I wouldn't care. And if I was making enough money on my own, I wouldn't care. But she was none of that.
Well, that's interesting. What email are you referring to?
I believe that the first email from Elon Musk to Anthony Romero said that it was over a 10-year period.
Anything else to make the ACLU believe that Ms. Heard was not paying the money right away out of her divorce settlement with Mr. Depp?
Anthony, in his communications with Ms. Heard, referred to the amount as a pledge. And a pledge is generally, what a pledge means is that the amount is not necessarily paid all at once. It's pledged to the organization. Rather than just sending a check, there's some kind of varying levels of commitment made to give amounts over a period of time, which is, useful for the charity to know so that it can make future projections as to income.
Mr. Doherty, who, if anyone at the ACLU, was assigned to handle or track Ms. Heard's donation?
That would have been two different people, depending on what you mean by track. There is a person in our leadership gifts department, which is the department that deals with high-level donors. His name is John Moresco, and his role is to, in addition to facilitating, maintaining the relationship with those donors, is to oversee the back and forth with those donors for annual giving.
So there's a question in our chat, and it's like, I think Goofy is a dog too, but the question was, Mickey is a mouse, Donald Duck is a duck, Pluto is a dog. What the fuck is Goofy? Well, here you go. Man.
So in this case, that would include Ms. Heard's gifts to the ACLU. And then there's a second group within the development department.
Oh, she is so pissed right now.
Overall donor database, the then PIDI, now Salesforce database.
Okay, was Exhibit 9 prepared in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business?
It's not back up on the screen yet. Okay, here it is. Yes, it was.
Is it maintained in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business?
Yes.
Were these emails, to your knowledge, prepared contemporaneously with people having knowledge of contents?
Correct.
Okay, if we could please move ahead to Exhibit 11.
He just got his ass handed to him. Steven, thank you for reaching out. Oh,
Okay, I see it.
Mr. Doherty,
What
you've never
was
seen
that?
this document before.
I have.
Is this one of the documents that you reviewed in preparation for your deposition today?
Yes.
Was this prepared in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business?
Yes.
Was it maintained in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business?
Yes.
Was it prepared by Mr. Romero contemporaneously on or about September 19th?
so that's
2016?
10% right there.
It was prepared by someone in our development department who I believe to be Mimi Clara, but yes, to the rest of your
Does Romero have knowledge of the contents of this letter that he signed?
Yes.
So he states to Ms. Heard, thank you for your wonderful gift of $350,000 to the ACLU, the first installment of your very generous pledge of $3.5 million. You see that?
Yes.
So as of September 9th, 2016, Ms. Heard had actually donated only $350,000, correct?
Correct.
Now, if you would please turn to the next page. I believe you referred to this before, but if you could just clear it up for the record. Have you ever seen this page before? And it's called Pledge Form, page number ACLU 3033.
Yes, I have.
What is it?
This is a document that is used, well, in the generic document is one that is used regularly by the development department. This one in particular is branded in connection with our 100th year anniversary, but that's just a branding thing. What the form is a form for people who are making pledges to the ACLU to document that that promise in a form like this. When a form like this is filled out, we see that as a that documents the full amount that they intend to contribute and the time period over which those gifts are going to be made.
That right there is very important. If you look at it, what they checked right here was 10 years, 3.5 million to the ACLU Foundation, tax deductible. So what screwed them off was what pissed Amber's team off was the fact that Johnny Depp took the tax write-off on doing that first donation. That pissed her off bad because she couldn't write that shit off on her taxes as a donation.
And is it your understanding, sir, that this pledge form and the two documents after it, ACLU 3034 and 3035, were in fact attached to the letter Mr. Romero sent Ms. Heard on September 9, 2016?
Yes.
And who prepared this ACLU 3033, the pledge form?
I believe that, well, it was somebody in our development department. I don't know whether it was Mimi Clara or John Moresco or someone else, but it was somebody who was preparing it in connection with the preparation of the tax acknowledgement letter.
There's a reference on top of the pledge form, Amber Heard, Kara Pierce O'Donnell, Greenberg Klusker, and then there's some other names. Do you know what the firm Greenberg Klusker had to do with Amber Heard?
No.
and you have no idea why it was sent to Ms. Heard, care of Mr. O'Donnell at Greenberg Glusker.
I expect that it is the case that, well, many of our significant donors have representatives that we work directly with on technical things such as a pledge form.
Okay, and directing your attention to the next page that was attached to Mr. Romero's letter, it also says pledge form, but it has some.
Actually, yes, it could. She could write it off if it was coming from her. Doesn't matter if it comes from Elon. Elon is not really worried about it. To him, it just looks like he just gave money to somebody. But if she's donating it out, she needs that tax write-off. Yeah.
Columns.
Yes.
Is it fair to say that this is a proposed schedule for payment of the remaining $3.5 million donation?
That is what it is.
And do you know that who came up with this proposed schedule?
I don't know who prepared this form and don't know who told the person who prepared this form to do the gift payment schedule in this way.
Do you see at the bottom of that page, ACLU 3034, part of Exhibit 11, that there is a signature line?
Correct. Yes, I do.
Did Ms. Heard ever sign this pledge schedule?
No.
Did anyone at Greenberg Glusker or anyone else on behalf of Ms. Heard ever sign this form?
No.
Why not?
I don't know the answer.
Did Ms. Heard ever agree to any schedule for the payment of her $3.5 million donation?
There are documents that we produced that point to Ms. Heard being aware of this as a multi-year commitment, including the Elon Musk email to Anthony and back and forth between Anthony and Amber on an annual basis about her, about this gift.
My question was actually a simple one. Did Ms. Heard ever agree to any schedule for the payment of the remainder of the $3.5 million donation?
I don't recall her having seen anything where she agreed to a 10-year schedule like this.
Let's go now, please, back to Exhibit 10.
No, I can boost up the sound a little bit there. Is that better? Sorry about that.
Okay. Mr. Doherty, have you ever seen this exhibit, Exhibit 10, before?
I have.
What is it?
This is an email exchange that includes Anthony Romero, our Director of Development, Mark Weir, the Executive Director of our Southern California affiliate, which encompasses LA, and me, regarding the check that we received from Johnny Depp's representatives in the amount of $100,000.
Was Exhibit 10 prepared in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business?
Yes.
Was it maintained by the ACLU in the ordinary course of its business?
Yes.
Were these emails prepared contemporaneously by people having knowledge of the content?
Yes.
Okay, let's move please to the second page of the exhibit. The email from Hector Villagra to Anthony Romero, dated August 25, 2016 at 12:44 p.m. Do you see that?
12.
At the bottom of this page.
At the bottom of this page? Yeah. Okay, sorry. Yeah, 12:44. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is Anthony Romero?
Yes.
And who is Hector Villagra?
Hector is the Executive Director of the ACLU of Southern California.
Damn.
And you see where he informs Mr. Romero, the actual check is for Mr. Depp, care of his CPA, and handwritten on the check, it says donation being made in the name of Amber Heard. So I think you've testified that the ACLU in fact received a $100,000 check from Johnny Depp, correct?
Correct.
And do you know why Mr. Depp asked that it be credited to the name of Amber Heard?
No, I don't.
Mr. Villagra tells Mr. Romero that he has been designated, or that he has been the point person. What does that mean?
Hold on, let me just find that.
It's at the very end of the exhibit on the next page.
Oh, okay. My staff let me know that you have been the point person. Yes, Hector is saying that Anthony was the main person with the relationship with Amber as a donor.
And why was Mr. Romero the point person?
Mr. Romero is our one of our most significant fundraisers at the organization, and he has a specific portfolio of donors.
God, this guy's list is killing me.
Team, such as John Moresco, support.
And do you see, going back to the second page of the exhibit, Mr. Romero's response to Mr. Villagra, copied to Mark Weir that same day, or strike that on August 25th? Do you see that?
I do.
Now let's move back to the first page. And do you see the email from Mark Weiler to Hector Villagra, copied to Mimi Clara, on or about August 25th at 11:12 a.m.?
Yes.
So he says, just spoke with Anthony, who got off, strike that, just spoke with Anthony, who just got off the phone with Elon Musk. And Anthony refers to Anthony Romero, correct?
Correct.
Why was Mr. Romero discussing the Heard donation with Elon Musk?
My understanding is that Anthony reached out to Elon Musk because he had a prior relationship with Elon Musk, and Elon Musk was the person who first contacted Anthony about the donation, about a donation from Amber.
And wasn't Mr. Romero specifically asking him about Mr. Depp's donation of $100,000?
That's how I read this email, yes.
And if you look down, just below that, the email from Mr. Villagra to Mark Weir, and he says, "We will hold the check." That's a reference to
I
the
agree,
ACLU's
Brandon.
holding the check from Johnny Depp, correct?
That's how I read this.
Okay.
Yes,
moving back
they
up
were.
to that email
They spent a
from
lot of
Mr.
time
Weiler to Mr.
asking
Villagra, copied to Mimi Clara.
dumb questions too.
He says, "We're going to
Yes.
draft an email from Anthony to Amber explaining the situation and asking."
But it's
for her
very
advice."
important
What does he mean there?
in
I take
context.
that to mean that we wanted to hear
Especially
from
later
Amber
on.
regarding whether this gift was attributable to the amounts that she wanted to contribute to the ACLU.
Did the ACLU in fact reach out to Ms. Heard about Mr. Depp's $100,000 donation?
Yes, there are documents that we produced that show a back and forth on that point between Anthony and Ms. Heard.
And Mr. Weiler, or Mr. Weir writes, "I'll keep you in the loop, but definitely hold the check until we get clearance from Amber." Why would the ACLU need clearance from Amber Heard before it accepted a $100,000 donation from Johnny Depp?
My understanding of this is that we wanted to know whether this, before we cashed this check, whether it was in relation to the Amber Heard desire to contribute to the ACLU as opposed to a separate desire by Johnny Depp to contribute to us individually. And in fact, the communication from Johnny Depp's representative said that it was in connection with Amber Heard. So we wanted to clarify what was going on.
So moving to the email directly above that from Hector Villagra to Mark Weir, he says, "We have more folks than I knew who follow TMT. Here's her latest report. Amber Heard calls BS on Johnny's charity donation. Now you owe double." What's that a reference to?
I don't really know specifically, other than to say that this is more indication that we were unclear of whether the Johnny Depp gift would count toward the amounts that Amber said she wanted to contribute to the ACLU.
Wait, you just said that they would.
On Exhibit 10,
The people
Mr.
could.
Weir responds, "She's calling Johnny out on the
Oh,
$14 million.
in general, absolutely.
I don't know. I'm not aware of.
Well, and yeah, I agree with you on this, Lesko. What really sucks about a lot of these things is the voir dire that some of these folks give is just long and ridiculous and stupid. I did this. It's like a big, it's like a big freaking resume on every single freaking person. But you also have to understand this is for each and every individual trial. They have to do this kind of stuff. And then of course, some of the questions that they ask, they have to ask in such a way that they don't piss off the court. I mean, they would love to come right out and ask, did Amber Heard donate $3.5 million? And there's only a certain way that you can get to the correct answer. It's one of those where they ask these, where the response ends up being, you're asking the right question, but you're not asking it in the right way. That kind of thing. Yo, TF, Traveling Fools. Good to see you, brother. So it becomes really, really screwy on the way that they have to ask, and it takes so goddamn long to get to the fucking point. And also, they're going to avoid answering the question any which way they can because it ends up being hearsay or any other kind of crap like that. So it just sucks. I mean, that's one of the worst part about these depositions.
How 14 million plays into any of this.
Okay, let's move ahead to Exhibit 12, please. Mr. Doherty, have you ever seen this document before?
Just making it larger. Yes, I have.
And what is it?
Make it larger. It says, "Hi there. I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry for the delay in this matter. They were highly unusual circumstances, and I sincerely appreciate all of your patience in helping facilitate through them. Anyway, just emailing to let you know that it's indeed all right to cash Mr. Depp's check. Thank you so much for your patience, and thank you for keeping me updated at ACLU's progress with things. All my best, Amber Heard."
This is Amber confirming that we can cash Mr. Depp's check.
And did Ms. Heard, in fact, send this to Mr. Romero on or about October 17th, 2016?
Yes.
And is this a document that was created in the was maintained in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business?
Yes.
And it's true that the ACLU ultimately deposited Mr. Depp's check for $100,000, correct?
Correct.
Did the ACLU credit the $100,000 paid by Mr. Depp toward Ms. Heard's $3.5 million pledge or donation?
We do credit that $100,000 amount toward the toward Amber Heard's charitable giving to the ACLU.
Where, if at all, is that credit reflected in the ACLU's records?
There are documents that we produced that show the fact that this was considered part of Amber Heard's charitable giving to the ACLU.
And after the ACLU received Ms. Heard's initial $350,000 payment, it received press inquiries about the Heard donation, correct?
Correct.
How many?
Oh, I don't know the specific number, sorry.
Was this document, Exhibit 20, maintained in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business?
Yes.
Was it prepared in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business contemporaneously by people having knowledge of the contents?
Yes.
On what date was Ms. Heard appointed an ACLU ambassador?
It was in October of 2018.
Okay, let's move ahead, please, to Exhibit 22. Did the ACLU ever issue a press release regarding the Vanguard $500,000 contribution?
I don't believe we ever issued a press release in 2017 regarding Amber Heard's donations to the ACLU.
Why not?
We received an email from Amber that is in the documents that says that we don't need to do this. We shouldn't do this this press release.
Let's go to 24, please.
Stand by.
Did he take a break and play the piano? Yeah, probably did. He might have licked a couple of nut sacks too while he was at it. I don't know. Because he's that kind of guy.
Mr. Doherty, have you ever seen this document, Exhibit 24, before?
Yes.
What is
Boy, sounds like he calls him
This
Mr.
is
Dirty.
Anthony in his email to the one we just saw said that his comms people were going to be reaching out to Amber's people. And so Steve then starts that process. And Amber then Amber responds and says that she's no longer working with Pierce and introduces Steve to her.
Stephen, thank you for reaching out. I'm no longer working with Pierce, but now working with my new lawyer, Eric George. We have a call set for an hour from now to talk about this with my PR team. Their concern is that the press could potentially spin the fact that this is an installment. Wow. This is important shit right here. And not the entire lump sum. As you well know, it isn't possible due to the structure of the settlement agreement against me in some way. Also, we're tracking down a confirmation statement from Children's as well, although I don't necessarily think we should wait on that. Damn, this is about PR right here. Because, let's see, this is in 2017. She's talking about this, but she's already said that she's donated $7 million split between ACLU and Children's. And now she doesn't want to have to backtrack on this shit. Is HIV treatable or did it progress to AIDS? Yes, HIV is treatable, and I actually know somebody that their father was one of the geneticists that helped develop some of the drugs to slow that shit down. So, but it is treatable, and you can slow it down, and it still progresses into worse shit.
Her new lawyer, Eric George, and she indicates that she has a concern about issuing a press statement.
Is this document maintained in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business?
Yes.
Was it prepared in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business?
Yes.
And was it prepared contemporaneously by people having knowledge of its contents?
Yes.
I'd like to direct your attention to the email at the top of the page.
My voice will be saved, thankfully. That's pretty good, Brandon. Thank you. I appreciate it. I needed a good laugh.
You see the email at the top of the page from Ms. Heard to Jody Gottlieb and others dated July 6, 2017?
I do.
Have you ever seen this document before?
Yes.
What is it?
This is Amber letting Steve know that she's no longer working with Pierce, but instead working with a new lawyer, and indicating to Steve that she is going to be talking with her PR team about whether about issuing a press statement about her 2017 issuing a press statement about her 2017 gift.
And directing your attention, she writes, their concern is that the press could potentially spin the fact that this is an installment and not the entire lump sum, as you well know, isn't possible due to the structure of the settlement agreement. The settlement agreement is a reference to the settlement agreement between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard of their divorce, correct?
I read that to with reference to the settlement agreement to be the settlement agreement between Heard and Depp, but I don't have any independent knowledge of that.
What was the basis of your belief that she was going to pay you every year?
The original communications and her response to us when we reached out to her, and she indicated,
Oh, he stripped his jacket off here now, hadn't he?
This was something that she was going to be taking.
He's going to be naked by the end of this one.
What we did receive was the $500,000 Vanguard charitable contribution, and then the next year the $350,000 contribution.
She didn't pay you on an annual basis, did she?
Yes, we didn't receive any amounts in 2019 and on.
Let's move up to the middle email on the page. Mr. Weir to Steve Smith. Thanks, Steve. Her gift is technically unrestricted, but it is weighted towards women's rights issues. What does that mean?
What that means is that there's a particular type of gift that is legally restricted for a specific purpose, and that could be that the restriction could be done in a number of ways. That was not done in this situation, but nonetheless, the intention in making gifts to the ACLU was to support that work. So there's that subtle distinction, and this is not an uncommon one at the ACLU.
After the Vanguard payment of $500,000 in July 2017, what, if any, payments did Ms. Heard make to the ACLU?
There was one more payment of $350,000 that came from Fidelity Charitable. So it looked to be from a donor-advised fund at Fidelity.
And when was that donor-advised Fidelity payment made?
In 2018.
So
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. Oh, we have a document that we produced that shows the contributions that we received from Fidelity Charitable and the timing for each of those. One of which includes includes the Amber Heard 350.
Okay, if we could please move to Exhibit 39. Showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 39. Have you ever seen this document before?
Hold on, can we get the date stamp number, please?
It is 3037.
Can we get the tramp stamp on Amber, please?
I'm directing your attention to the penultimate entry on that page.
Yes.
There appears to be a reference. Well, first of all, have you ever seen this document before?
I have.
And what is it?
This is a document that we created that lists the contributions made to the ACLU on a specific date, December 11, 2018, that came from the online at Fidelity Charitable account.
And is this document maintained in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business?
The information in this is maintained in the ordinary course of this business. We created this document in response to the discovery requests.
And does it truthfully and accurately reflect the donations made to the ACLU online on or about December 11th, 2018?
I believe that it does. It is a document that I believe our development department pulled information
No
from
house.
our current
I love it.
Excel.
So So directing your attention to the penultimate
Awesome.
entry on this page said $350,000 designation, donation from Amber Heard. What does that refer to?
What that refers to is that since the giving accounts are the names of the Fidelity Charitable Donor Advised Funds, which is the column in the right, this one is designated as anonymous, meaning that the person who set up the donor advised fund, in this case, I believe Amber, wanted it to be an anonymous donor advised fund. So that would be within her discretion to decide which gifts were that she recommended were her recommendations or not. And so we put into this special purpose category, we marked that this was a donation from Amber Heard, meaning a recommendation from her to make a contribution from her donor advised fund.
So this is an anonymous donation for someone in Amber Heard's name, correct?
It is anonymous to the, this is, when this donor advised fund was set up, it was determined that it would be, that the gifts would presumptively be anonymous unless she were to recommend to state otherwise.
And did she ever state otherwise?
We believe that this was, that she indicated that this was her $350,000 gift. And that's why we put into the column that this was a donation recommended by her from her donor advised fund.
But the money did not come from her, correct?
The money went from her to her donor advised fund, and then she recommended that the funds be paid from Fidelity to us. So the amount of $350 we received did not come from her directly. It came from what we believe to be her donor advised fund at Fidelity that she set up.
What basis, other than Ms. Heard's telling you, does the ACLU have for the proposition that Ms. Heard paid the money to Fidelity before it came and was given to the ACLU?
What we have is what she told us, which is how donor advised funds that are anonymous work. The only thing that we legally needed to know was that this came from the Fidelity Charitable, and that's the kind of reporting that we would do on this. For example, if we were reporting on this gift in our tax filings or anything like that, we then, our donors who have donor advised funds, they then let us know that they made that recommendation, and we then credit it to them as being associated with their giving to us in our CRM.
Well, Mr. Doherty, I didn't ask you what the ACLU was legally required to do. I asked you what, if anything, the ACLU did to investigate whether, in fact, Ms. Heard provided the funds to Fidelity. And your answer is nothing, right?
I don't believe there was anything else. I don't know what else we would have gotten.
Yeah, why would they have done anything more?
The ACLU relied only on Ms. Heard, that she was the ultimate source of the Fidelity funds, correct?
Yes.
Testified that
That's
Heard
the
was
point
not
he's getting
the
at
original
with
source
it.
of the funds for the $500,000 Vanguard contribution, correct?
We received that $500,000 from Vanguard. They're a 501c3, not from any other person.
Right, but Vanguard was associated with Mr. Musk, true?
We believe that to be the case, yes.
Okay. So after this December 2018 donation, has Ms. Heard made any donations directly or indirectly to the ACLU?
No, those are the four contributions, the one that we just, the four.
Oh, damn.
Well, we're almost 3 years since her last contribution. What, if any,
3 years, and she hasn't donated shit since then.
to get Amber Heard to pay?
We reached out to Ms. Heard. We reached out to Ms. Heard starting in 2019 for the next installment of her giving, and we learned that she was having financial difficulties.
Well, let's unpack that. So when in 2019 did the ACLU reach out to Ms. Heard about making her promised contributions?
I don't recall the date, but there is a document that we produced that was an email from Anthony to Amber about this in 2019.
Damn.
Okay, let's move ahead to Exhibit 67, please. Have you seen these documents, these attachments before?
Yes, I've seen these.
Okay, and we'll just go through them one by one if you don't mind.
Sure.
If you look at page number 4673,
She stopped sucking on Daddy Elon's dick. And that's what happened.
2018. What is that?
I believe this is this tracks with the Excel spreadsheet that we looked at just a few moments ago that talks about online giving through the Fidelity.
2019, she wasn't swallowing anymore.
One listed all of the December 11th, 2018 gifts. This one lists the $350,000 gift from from the Amber's donor advised fund.
And moving to the next page, it says designation donor from Amber Heard. Do you see that?
Yes.
What does designation mean?
So this was the column in Salesforce that allows us to include additional information about gifts, in particular whether they are restricted in a certain way. And so that's why the term designation is used. And here, I think we filled into that designation.
She knows she looks like shit right now.
Case, which was that this was a recommendation from Amber Heard's donor advised fund.
Okay, now if you move to the next page, 4675, there's just one word on that, and it's anonymous. You know what that means?
This corresponds to the column of that same spreadsheet that listed the names of the donor advised funds that individuals set up at Fidelity, and that the name of the Amber one was anonymous.
Now, when Ms. Heard made her direct payment for first contribution of $350,000, that was not designated as anonymous, wasn't it? Was it?
So the point he's making on this one is that every other donation has been coming from that fund. And even though if it's coming from that fund, it shows that it was coming from someone. And this one shows that it was coming from someone anonymous. So the Vanguard Fund is facilitating it and sort of showing where those funds are coming from. And this one's showing up as just like anonymous. It could be anyone. It could be Elon. It could be Amber. It could be her sister. It could be her brother, your father. It doesn't matter. It's anonymous, which means she didn't pay the money.
That was not a gift from a donor advised fund, so there weren't those columns for us to fill out. It was just a gift to the ACLU. And I do believe that in Anthony's acknowledgement letter to that included the pledge form that wasn't signed. He included a question about anonymity and whether we could list her as a donor in our annual report. So that was our first connection with her. So, we weren't sure whether her giving would be anonymous or not.
Well, the first donation wasn't anonymous, correct?
No, because it was not anonymous. But what I'm saying here is that this is the name. I believe this is the name of her donor advised fund at Fidelity. And the first time she gives a gift, I think it came right out of her own, banking accounts.
Right. And between the time Ms. Heard made her first donation of $350,000.
Danielle, lovely girl.
Hi, Danielle.
Oh, did we send Danielle an invite?
Did we? No.
Oh, we're so bad. Because Danielle is so much fun to have on.
I know.
And Danielle just makes me smile every time I see her. She just has this joyful disposition that is so wonderful. Let me get an invite out to her.
I got it.
Okay. Oh, you're awesome. See, you're quick on this stuff. Me, I'm old and decrepit. You're in bed. Oh, that's even better. I love it. She's like, oh, I love you guys. Hey, if you're in bed and you're loving on us, just think. We're so bad.
Directly, which is attributed directly to her. And the time this anonymous donation comes in, did anybody at the ACLU have any discussion with Ms. Heard as to whether she wanted anonymity?
I don't believe she did.
Okay, if you could move ahead, please, to page number 4678.
Hey, Lexi. Hello, lovelies. Poor Shizzy. You really got to start taking the outside off pineapple off before you start eating it, man. Don't worry. I have actually been resting my voice from Sunday night. I didn't do anything on Monday. On Tuesday, I did a stream where I didn't talk very much on my gaming channel, and it's been getting better. I wasn't able to speak at all on Monday. My wife was a little worried. She would say something to me and it came out as a sort of a squawk, I guess is the best description, because I had to get my vocal cords just to get them to vibrate. I had to almost give it like a howl. Am I in pain? Huh?
Did she make fun of you?
Oh God, yes. Why wouldn't she?
I was gonna say I would have.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would hope so. It was my own damn fault for going as long as I did on Sunday. But no, I am not in pain at all. Take a swig of some hot sauce to numb it. Oh no, I did that on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, I've had Tabasco in every bit of soup that I've been drinking, and yeah, it does good. It helps clear it up. But you also have to remember that the vocal cords are down below all of that area. So gargling stuff and drinking stuff doesn't do anything except for take care of the stuff that's up higher where the vocal cords are. They're just probably a little bit inflamed, and that's why my voice sounds as deep as it does. But no, there's no pain. There's no pain until I'm like coughing late at night, and that's only because of the nasal drain and crap like that. I just need to stop, snorting whatever it is that I'm snorting. No, it's just blowing my nose. I was getting nosebleeds. It's so damn bad. Just the dry air in Georgia has been really bad. The cold, weird. I don't normally get nosebleeds, but man, these have been so freaking bad. Like I'd blow my nose and it was just like a gusher of blood coming out. It's so horrible. Look like I got.
These are terrible.
Well, it does. I can remember the last time I had a nosebleed before this would have been about 5 years ago. So the air has just got to be super dry for that to happen. Green tea steeped at 175 will do some good. Yeah, I tried to do that. I've been doing a lot of hot soups, and last night, because my cough was so bad, that I was like having to do cough drops, which I really hate doing, but I was having to do them so I wouldn't like cough. It was just from the nasal drain that was happening. It was causing me to like gag and shit like that. It's weird.
Yes.
Have you ever seen this document before?
Yes.
What is it?
This is the document that Vanguard Charitable, so Vanguard's 501c3 nonprofit, uses when someone makes a recommendation from a Vanguard Charitable Donor Advised Fund to give an amount to a charity. And they then send this letter saying that they, Vanguard, are giving this amount to the charity. And it describes whether, this is the document that would describe whether or not the donor wants to be anonymous or even wants to indicate to us who they are.
And this is the Vanguard contribution about which you testified earlier, correct?
Correct.
Let's move ahead, please.
No.
To 4679, which is the next page.
Yes.
And have you ever seen this document before?
I have.
And this is one of the documents that you reviewed in the context of preparing for this deposition.
Yes.
And directing your attention to the middle of the page, it says remark from Amber Heard. What does that signify?
This, I'm sorry, I'm counting the 3 seconds. This is a record of a wire into our accounts at JP Morgan Chase in the amount of $350,000 from Amber Heard's account.
And this was
City National Bank.
And this was her first contribution, correct?
Yes, this is the 2016 August contribution.
Okay, and if you could move ahead, please, to the next page, ACLU 4680. Have you ever seen this document before?
I have.
What is it?
This is the original email from Elon to Amber and Anthony describing her plan to donate to the ACLU over the next 10 years and her support for our work. And that she wasn't restricting the gift. She just had a preference about the use of the funds, and that Anthony would forward her the wiring instructions. And then he did so. And then the $350,000 was wired, as we saw in that last JP Morgan Chase ACLU bank account wire record. And so Anthony let Amber know that we received it.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit. So the email in the middle of the page was an email sent to Mr. Romero from Elon Musk on or about August 18th, 2016 at 1:14 p.m., correct?
Correct.
He says, Amber, I described your plan to donate $3.5 million to the ACLU over the next 10 years, as you very much believe in what they are doing. You see that?
Yes.
Why was Ms. Heard, or strike that, why was Mr. Musk representing this on behalf of Ms. Heard?
I don't know the answer to that question, but assume it's because of Elon's prior relationship with Anthony and that he indicated, I will make that introduction for you.
He is representing that Ms. Heard's plan was to donate $3.5 million over the next 10 years. Is that correct?
Correct. That was her plan.
Did Ms. Heard ever say in words or substance that Mr. Musk was not correct and that wasn't her plan?
I do not believe she ever said that.
So she never refuted Mr. Musk's representation that she was going to pay the full $3.5 million, correct?
It isn't the case that she didn't object to that she was going to pay the 3.5. It's just that she didn't object that was her plan as of August 18th, 2016.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Doherty. Let's move to the next page, which is 4681.
Yes.
And you see at the top it says Salesforce screenshot. Would you remind us, please, what Salesforce is?
It's our current CRM, our constituent record management system, which is where we store all the information we have about our donors. We call it our donor database.
And I believe that we've seen a version of this
Tell you good night. Before you leave there, Lexi, you have a wonderful, filled day and night. Sleep well and think pleasant dreams. Good night, Lexi. Was that good? You like that?
That was great.
I should tell more stories while my voice sounds like this. I need to make a good bumper for you is what I need to do. In a world gone to hell, there is only one voice that you want to hear, and that is the sound of Jessica Reloaded as she comes at you live from her bedroom wearing those hot T-Rex pajamas as she goes
Oh gosh.
crazy with her chat and tells tales that only Jessica Reloaded could tell. Come join us for Jessica Reloaded's chat.
in an email from Mr. Moresco, correct?
I do recall that this.
Have fun
You
at
like
work, Farrell.
Have fun, Farrell. It's awesome. Work time. Farrell's awesome.
Document. This is part of documents that we produced.
Okay, well, let's start from the bottom up.
Sure.
If you look at the bottom entry in the column, it's had the entry that has a close date 8/19/2016, completed $350,000. What does that mean?
That's a record of her $350,000 contribution to us.
And you see the designation, the giving name pledge payment?
I do.
And what does that refer to?
That this was in connection with her overall plan to make a contribution to us of $3.5 million.
Okay, now let's move up to the entry in the middle of the chart. It says Ms. Amber Heard soft credit 2017, close date June 12, 2017, completed $500,000. What does that mean?
That's the record of the Vanguard charitable contribution in 2017.
Why does it say soft credit instead of pledge payment?
Because it didn't come directly from Amber. It came from the Vanguard Charitable Trust, Charitable Fund. And we wanted to continue to associate it, though, with Amber in our donor database.
Is it customary for the ACLU to make distinctions between hard donations, that is coming directly from the donor, and donations made by others in the donor's name?
It's extremely important for us to understand whether funds came directly to us from a donor's donor advised fund, or from another donor altogether. That's all very helpful information to us as we think through our fundraising program.
So, but my question was, is it common practice? And it sounds like it is common practice because you say it's important, correct?
I believe it's a common practice.
Okay, and then let's look at the top entry in the chart.
Yes.
This is for the December 2018 payment, and I believe you testified this is the last payment Ms. Heard has made, correct?
Correct.
And it says Ms. Amber Heard donation 2018 payment. What does this signify?
This relates to the 2018 $350,000 gift that we got, which I believe came from Amber's donor advised fund at Fidelity.
Okay, and let's close this out by looking at 4682. Purports to be an email from Liz Fitzgerald to Jonathan Moresco. Who is Liz Fitzgerald?
Liz Fitzgerald's then title was Director of Special Gifts, but her current title is the Director of Development. She's the number 2 in our development department. She reports directly to Mark Weir. And even then, as Director of Special Gifts, she reported directly to Mark Weir.
Johnny's laughing like, ugh.
Yes.
All right, and with respect to Exhibit 67, the attachments that we've described, were they created in the ordinary course of the ACLU's business?
The only one that I would not say was in our ordinary course of business is number 4681, in that this was created in connection with a discussion with Amber Heard's attorneys about
This guy just sounds like he's backtracking so much.
In this exhibit,
Yeah.
course of the ACLU's business, correct?
Correct. And even this one came from our donor database, which is something that we keep in the ordinary course of our business.
And it's your testimony sitting here today that the information depicted on
Just
ACLU
his,
481 is accurate and
I guess,
reflects
testimony
the
itself
records
makes
kept
me
in the ACLU.
What was
not wanna. Just the way he's talking would make me not want to donate shit to them.
Yeah. Because he just sounds shady as fuck.
He sounds like he's so full of shit.
Yeah.
Use ordinary course of business, correct?
It is correct that we received the 350, the 500, and the 350, and that we associated them all in some way with Amber. It does not list the 100,000 Johnny Depp payment, and there's differing terms that are used in that. I'm not sure we would use the term soft credit. We might refer to it another way now. After that 2017 gift, that's when we launched the new database system, the Salesforce system, and prior it had been the PIDI system. So we had been doing some changes to definitions about how we record gifts. But the basic, which is that these are all associated with Amber Heard, these 3 gifts, that is absolutely accurate.
Well, you raise a good point. Why isn't the $100,000 donated by Johnny Depp credited to Amber Heard?
I think it should have been recorded in our database because it's information that we would want to have in that database about gifts relating to our relationship with Amber Heard. And we now do consider that gift as part of the constellation of gifts that are attributed to our relationship with Amber Heard.
So that's how you would get from the 1.2 million to the 1.3 million, right?
Yes, 700 plus 8, this one is 800 plus 500 is 1.3, correct.
So the ACLU sitting here today attributes $1.3 million toward Ms. Heard's $3.5 million pledge, correct?
Correct.
And of that $1.3 million, $100,000 was paid by Johnny Depp, true?
Correct.
So putting aside 4681, all of the emails prepared by ACLU employees in the course of their ordinary business?
Yeah, I'm just reminding myself. Well, I believe that 4679 was also downloaded from our records in relation to this litigation matter. I don't believe that we created this document and had it in a paper file somewhere, but I think we pulled this information, this wiring information. It may be the same wiring information that was looked at the time that the donation was made.
So Exhibit 67, it's fair to say, is comprised of ACLU business records kept and maintained in the ordinary course, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Excuse me, Your Honor, we're going to change topics with Mr. Daugherty.
Take our morning break.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, let's go ahead and take our 15-minute
Taking
recess.
a break. Oh my God, please do. Give me just a second. I'm coming up with something that's going to be awesome. Let me see if I can find it. Commercial and team manager, agents, prompt engineer. Yeah, that'll work. I'm working on something for you, Jessica.
Uh-oh.
It's gonna be scary.
Ooh,
Just
I
in case
like
anybody don't do the
scary.
outside research, we'll see then.
Let's see if we can make it awesome. We're working on a bumper for you.
The chat's
Well, here
gonna
we
know
go.
I'm not the one
Here
who
we go.
made it though, because you're way more creative than me.
This is yours. In a world brimming with headlines where stories unfold at the speed of thought, one voice cuts through the noise to bring clarity, insight, and illumination. Stand by to ignite your understanding, to fuel your mind with a relentless energy of curiosity, because it's time for Jessica Reloaded. Hers is not just any channel. It's a beacon shining through the fog of the everyday, transforming the way we see the world, decoding the complex and distilling the profound. She is not following the news cycle. She is crafting a new narrative. Jessica steps up to the helm each day with a promise to empower, to challenge, to inspire, armed with facts driven by passion and elevated by purpose. She truly reloads your day with content that matters. Join the community, be part of the movement, and elevate your perspective. Prepare to not be just informed, but transformed. This is Jessica Reloaded, where every story is an adventure, every report a revelation, every news cycle an opportunity to soar above the ordinary. Subscribe and hit the bell icon. Get ready to be part of that journey, because with Jessica Reloaded, it's not just news, it's a revolution in understanding. You like that?
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Jessica Reloaded, knowledge ignited.
You have a great voice for that.
It's just because
No lie.
my voice is shot right now. That's why.
No, stop. Your voice is always badass.
No, I do. I appreciate it. I do thank you. I do have a good voice. But it's exceptionally really good right now for doing the red pepper voiceovers. So that's what I did. That's why I created that bumper. Because I was just like, oh, this is like perfect timing. Like my voice sounds good, but it never has that like deep voice that I'm like, damn, that's awesome. That's gonna be a good bumper for you. I'll cut that and I'll save it for you. Record it, and then you can.
You tired of my basic ass intros?
No, I love your intros. But if you ever wanted to use it, you could totally use it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, my intros are basic as hell, like bare minimum, just like my thumbnails. Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. Me, I like to do it because it's an exercise for me. Like, you make awesome freaking thumbnails. I watched you make this Depp thumbnail in just like a couple of minutes. You know how long it would have taken me to make this? It would have taken me like hours. You just have that eye where you're just like, boom, boom, boom. And you're just like, oh, this little thing here, this little thing here. Send me a picture of yourself. And then you like cropped it up and threw it up there. I was like, damn it. That is awesome.
You can't give me that much credit. I used Canva. Canva makes it really easy for you. If you can't figure out how to make a thumbnail with Canva.
Well, I can make thumbnails, but I mean, just the speed that you did it in was impressive. Sure, you use Canva, but it was still talent. And, you know, that's something that, you know, some people just they fight like really hard. Like, I can sit there and make a good intro, and you can do like an awesome thumbnail. That's pretty. And most thumbnails just need to be basic. You know, they don't have to be anything spectacular. But yours always look spectacular. Yes, they do.
Thank you.
All right. You want to continue?
Oh, please continue.
Move ahead, please. One, have you ever seen this document before?
Yes.
What is it?
This is a series of communications among people in our.
I think he got his swallow of semen over the lunch break.
On our programmatic work.
His list got really sweet.
Let's now turn back to the email starting on ACLU 47. Bottom of the page from Gary Johnson to Jody Gottlieb and others.
Yeah.
Reportedly dated November 6, 2018. Who's Jerry Johnson?
Jerry Johnson was a more junior person in our communications department. His title was communications department strategist. And strategists are often.
Did he say a more Jewish person?
In expertise in and do work in a select
Damn.
number of our issue areas.
That's what I was trying to figure out. What the hell did he just say?
On doing an op-ed in which she discusses the ways in which survivors of gender-based violence have been made less safe under the Trump administration and how people can take action.
Jesus
why
Christ.
Was the ACLU recommending that Amber write?
Oh, wait. Is there still in chat?
Amber
Is what?
agreeing to be an
Eris?
Eris,
No.
are you still
I
in
think she
chat?
left.
Yeah,
Well,
she may have.
I know what my New Year's resolution will be.
What's your New Year's resolution going to be?
Make less Jew jokes.
Make is so you're going to make Jews feel less than they are?
No, I'm going to stop laughing at their expense. Even though I just did. I knew that was going to make you laugh.
I say that because I played in a band with these guys, and they all explained to me that they were Jewish. I was like, okay, what does that matter? They were just like, well, I mean, you're blonde hair, blue eye. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking gray hair and I have like blue eyes. They were just like, well, we just didn't want you to think that we're gonna like kill you or something.
Hey, you know what we haven't done tonight?
What's that?
The one with the black hair, is your name Emerson? Oh, that's weird. It's Emerson big old titties, you know what I'm saying?
Oh no, I never really understood the whole bad Jew jokes and stuff like that. And these dudes would tell me all of them all the time. They're just like, one of them, his mother, because she wouldn't eat any sort of pork. She was so confident on something, and he made her a bet. He said, "I'll bet you I'm right." And she said, "I'll bet you you're wrong." And he said, "I'll bet you a whole plate of bacon that you're wrong." And she bet him.
Wait, did she have to eat it? Oh no!
Like after she lost the bet, she had this huge plate of bacon all stacked up. Pictures of her eating it. Oh.
Hey, I bet you she still eats bacon to this day.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't?
No.
Wow.
No, it's against her religion. Oh.
Well, yeah. I mean, realistically, a lot of things are against a lot of religions, but people still do them. So who cares?
It was just the humor of it. He actually married a fine Catholic girl. Because she put out like crazy.
My my coworker is, I think he's 20. Yeah, he just turned 21. And he's Jewish. And I I try not to make jokes like that when I'm at work, trying to be all professional and shit. And then he ends up making the joke and I absolutely lose it. I start cracking up. Dude, I'm like, we're supposed to be good here. What are you doing? I'm trying to behave.
No, I mean, when I worked at this shop, we had this Jewish rabbi that came in. And man, the jokes that he would tell would just have us all rolling on the floor. He was like, "Come on, they're fucking jokes. If you can't take the joke, then what is the point of fucking living? You have to have some humor about this bullshit." He goes, "Because most jokes are made of stereotypical bullshit that people think are true, that are not necessarily true, but they could be true for just any number of races or ethnicities, whatever. It could be across the board. It could be that, black people don't tip, Jews don't tip. It could be that, doctors don't tip, lawyers don't tip. I mean, it's a fucking joke. And if you're getting butthurt over it, then what's your fucking problem? I mean,
Well, it's like the
make
same
a laugh
same
about it.
thing like when people say, "Oh, all the Middle Easterns own liquor stores or convenience stores and shit."
Damn right. Where else am I going to get my liquor from? Fuck. Everything offends everyone now. Dude, that's why whenever somebody was saying, it was Farrell that was just like, oh, you better be careful, or Harris, maybe it was Harris. It was like, you better be careful what you say, that you're sure it's going to be fine, whatever David did. I'm sure it's going to be fine, because I really just don't get offended. I mean, people sit there and they talk shit about, white dudes or whatever. What the fuck ever? What do I care? I mean,
Yeah.
it does it hurt me? Do words hurt me? No, they haven't hurt me since like the 5th grade.
Dude, I have people who think I'm Muslim just because my family is from Iraq. So they'll like say something like stereotypical, and then I'm the one who turns it into a joke. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's totally true. There's 72 virgins.
The only problem is all those virgins are male. Fuck.
Exactly.
Sucks to be you. Yeah, they're baby goats. Don't tell Valhalla. They're ducklings.
Well, that's like the comedy shows from back in the day, like Dave Chappelle. Oh my god, it was funny as shit.
Yes.
Now people are getting all offended, trying to cancel him and stuff. I'm like, dude, if that's not your well, first of all, don't even go to a comedy show if you can't take a joke like that, because that's what makes the best jokes.
Is making fun of you in the audience being a dumbass. Seriously, that's what makes the best comedy, is that person that gets offended and starts yelling shit out. It's like, wait, Justice. No, but she might have like beat a few with pogo sticks or something. If you were born here, you're American. Stop claiming to be something else. Exactly. And I've always said that Hal's right. If you were born here, you're an American. Don't claim to be, claim to be something that you're not. Koreans own a lot of mom and pop stores. Yeah,
Well, that's why I
dude.
use the term Assyrian American.
One of my good friends was out in Vegas, and I had no idea about this like kind of culture thing in the Korean like culture, that they're very family oriented. I mean very family oriented.
Oh yeah.
And he would sleep in like a space because he was working at his girlfriend's mom and pop shop. He's from Georgia, and he was living in Nevada, dating this girl, living in their house, like, but not with her, and working for them, and just like sleeping like in the hallway or something. It's so fucking weird. But just they took care of him and made sure that he was good because they wanted him to marry their daughter. It's so wild. Andrew Dice Clay, he was a very funny little Jewish man. He still is. He's still very funny. No, I shouldn't make like bad jokes towards people. And it's only because there's people that are get so offended and crap like that. Well, if you get offended, go fuck the fuck off. Seriously.
I mean,
if you get offended on my fucking show, then go fuck off, because I really don't give a shit if you're offended by me. I really
People
don't.
get offended when you tell them the truth.
Yeah.
You point out something that's true, they get all offended, and then you're the bad guy, and it's like, okay.
I mean,
Sorry, that struck a nerve. I'm obviously right.
Yeah, just points out shit to me all the time, and some of it is actually helpful. It's like, oh, don't be so disparaging on yourself. I have to keep reminding Jess that I do it to be funny. I really, my ego is really big. I have a big
I
whenever
made
I say
myself have
stuff,
an ego for the first time this week. I
that's
forgot what
awesome.
I think it was that night when my cousin was like texting me and like she's just jealous she's not pretty like me. And my mom's
Exactly.
like, "Excuse you." I'm like, "I know. I'm excusing myself now."
I know. Damn right. That bullshit. All these people getting offended. And I said this shit not too long ago. If someone actually took the fucking time to make something on the level of Blazing Saddles that was offensive to everybody, that was pointing out stereotypical bullshit, and made a movie about it and made it entertaining, that because people are so sick of oh, you can't say the N word, you can't say the G word, you can't say all of these things. If someone came up that was, worth a fucking damn and did a movie, and it was as good as Blazing Saddles, that thing would hit box office tops. It would become a fucking classic for the ages, because there are so many people, not just on this channel, on YouTube, on Rumble, on the fucking internet, in the movie business. All these motherfuckers are so sick of this shit that they just want that. It's finally okay to say, fuck you.
Yep.
What they want. They really want that.
Fuck you, Sandra.
See here too much.
I like how the other night when I was like, "Fuck you, Sandra," everyone started repeating it in the chat the whole night. That was great.
Sandra. I know.
That was
It's so much fun.
fantastic. That was a great stream.
Oh, that was your final stream of the year, wasn't it?
Yep.
Oh, it was a beautiful way to say fuck you 2023.
Yeah. Yeah,
I am
definitely working on a lot of changes this year. I'm definitely not going to be so dismissive of people's terrible behaviors to spare their feelings. I'm just going to tell them straight up, "You're a jackass."
Yes, as you should.
Because fuck their feelings.
Exactly. Mongo was great, especially if you watched him play for the Detroit Lions. I don't know.
Did you see this?
So
He
I walked
says,
up to this dude. Do I know you well? You know the rest of the story. So I walked up to this dame with big lips, and I'm like, "Do I know you well? Well, you know the rest of the story."
That his chat reminded me of when I was working at the casino, and this lady walks up to me, and I'm like helping her, like ringing her up or whatever, right? And she looks at me and she's like, "Wow, you have some awesome DSLs." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "You don't know what the term DSL means?" I'm like, "No." I was like maybe 24. Haven't really been outside of my house much at that point because strict parents, you know how it is. And I seriously had no idea what that meant. And then she's like, "Oh, dick sucking clips." And I was like, thanks. I don't know if I should be thankful or weirded out that a woman just said this to me.
I worked at a place here, and I wasn't planning on working there. It just ended up that I did. There was this girl that worked there, and she had the most beautiful lips that you ever saw. I mean, it was what really stood out about her. And I was like, oh my God, this girl is absolutely gorgeous. And Trailer Hitch Lips, no. she was on, one, she was drop dead gorgeous besides that. But she had these very thick, voluptuous lips. I was like, oh my God, this girl is just beyond unbelievable. Pretty brown eyes. And I started talking with her, and she had a really nice personality, which was more attractive than all of that outside of it.
Oh yeah.
And I ended up working at this place. And I was dating a girl at the time, but this girl was like complete psycho, and I dumped her like a week before. She would still show up in my house. I'd be like, go the fuck away. And so I invited this girl over, and this ex shows up because she would just show up randomly. She was psychotic and just like wanted to be around me all the fucking time. And so she shows up, and this girl is there, and she was like, oh, I see. You've got the girl with the dick sucking lips now. Oh, fuck you. She finally left. And I was just like, and this girl was actually dating a friend of mine.
God, what a
never dated.
clusterfuck.
We never dated. She was just a friend, like a true friend. When she came over, I was like, I really need you to come over. She was like, why am I coming over? I was like, first of all, I have a psycho ex-girlfriend that's going to be showing up almost every fucking day. So if you show up and you're there, she's going to go, oh, he's moved on finally. She was just like, sure. So she got all dealt. And this is a girl that wore like blue jeans, t-shirt, and just, wear her hair like in a fucking man bun on top of her head. She just did not give a shit. Didn't wear makeup.
All I have to do is pretend I'm with someone new to get rid of my ex?
If they show up on your door, yeah. Well, I didn't even pretend.
Why didn't you tell me this months ago? You know how many guy friends I have? I could have totally... I'm just joking.
It doesn't work well. Online fucking stalkers.
No, I'm just joking.
I know. So
Thank God I don't have a stalker ex.
She comes over in a fucking mini skirt with we're not talking boob window. We're talking this thing was just barely covering her breasts. Her belly is all exposed, and she shows up with these like fuck me boots on and shit. And then whenever she shows up, I'm laughing my ass off because just like I know her from wearing blue jeans and stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, you're just like drop dead gorgeous. Why don't you do that more often? She goes, I only do this whenever I want to piss off ex-girlfriends. We ended up getting so fucked up that night after the girlfriend left. It was it made my fucking year. Thank you, Jennifer.
It's always good to have friends like that can be there for you when someone is being a faggot.
Yeah.
It really helps.
This girl was psychotic. I mean, I understand whenever girls talk about being stalked by some fucking dude. I understand it because I've been stalked by some fucking woman. I mean, it's a fucking weird situation because you're like, you don't want to be mean to a person, but at some point you just have to say, get the fuck away from me, or I will destroy you. Like, I'm not playing. There is that point that you come to that you will you will come out and destroy somebody if they don't stop fucking with you. So if people are fucking with you, Jessica, I guarantee you there will be people in a fucking heartbeat that will destroy them. All you have to do is just ask.
Why would I ask people to destroy them when I can do it myself and it's more fun because I can laugh while doing it?
Exactly. But
that's what people underestimate about me is as much of a good friend that I can be or as kind as I can be, the last thing you ever want to do is cross me. Because when you like you can okay, go ahead and cross me, but I'm not gonna put it out there that you crossed me. Just gonna let you go. And if you keep crossing me,
oh yeah,
that's when it guns out, buddy.
It causes pain. It's just best to pack up your shit, fucking move your ass to another fucking country, go suck some fucking ladyboy dick, and fuck off. Serious. Don't fucking play. Can we get Val Kilmer and Stone Clip that we're asked? We cross. Oh yeah. I know. I make friends with rider type bitches and people that don't ever plan on crossing.
Yeah, he's only saying that because he's scared of me. He's seen
Damn
me.
right.
He's seen me when I go off.
Oh, damn right, woman.
Or as he likes to call it, he's seen me when I go full reloaded.
Full reloaded. Damn right. No, I mean and it's also good to be able to stand up for yourself. It gives you that kind of character where you don't get walked on by even the person that you care about the most because they're too fucking scared to fuck with you.
To be honest, Shizzy, if I hadn't gone through like the bullying and shit that I went through in elementary school, being as I was one of the rare Assyrian American students throughout my childhood up until they started like actually immigrating people to the States and stuff, you know, bringing in refugees. There wasn't very many out here. So I was constantly like being bullied and stuff by the other kids. And then I didn't let that destroy me. I actually turned it into strength and here I am.
Exactly. I mean, I was bullied in school, you know. I was raised in a middle class family until parents got divorced, and then it was like government cheese. That was some rough shit. Wearing fucking hand-me-downs going into high school your first fucking day, and being just like pounced upon by people that are just like fucking with you constantly. You know, wearing a pair of jeans that is two sizes too fucking big, and you got them stitched up because you're too fucking broke to even afford Salvation Army.
Yeah.
I know what that shit's like. I know it's like to be fucking broke. And it was you know, I don't begrudge the bullies that did that to me. I don't even fucking remember. I can picture their faces, but I can't even remember their names. Because it became a blur of the amount of abuse and bullshit that I took from people.
Yeah. And then your brain tends to block out as you get older, your brain tends to kind of wipe out the bad memories of being bullied as well.
Yeah. It gave me a different outlook on things where, you know, if I'm mean to somebody, it's not because I'm intentionally trying to be mean. More like that friendly like poke kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't ever mean it to be mean, you know. So if I ever
I
come
do.
across somebody to be that I'm being mean, it's not because I'm intentionally like trying to be mean to you, but I may be like, you know, pointing something out that you end up working on. I don't know. It's weird.
I'm intentionally mean to people sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But it's only people that deserve it.
I don't know. I said winning twice on purpose. That's funny.
Oh yeah. Winning is someone that you definitely should not mess with.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'll
Or
mess with
Max
people.
Mara. Don't mess with Max Mara either.
Man, I will fuck with Max all goddamn day. Fuck Max. No, Max is good people. And that's why I say that, because I've had conversations with Max, and he is honestly just a straight up really good person. And you know, he's not like this Jesus Christ figure or anything like that, but he's just good people. I mean, I'll fuck MG. I'll mess with Max all goddamn day long. Because I know Max will turn around and fuck with me just twice as much. And that's the kind of relationship we have. You know, it's like I can sit there and poke fun at Jessica because I know that she's going to throw it right back in my face.
Oh yeah.
We're going to have fun. It's going to happen. It's just going to happen.
You know, I don't take life seriously. Because like it's all a big joke to me right now, to be honest.
Maybe I take life too seriously. Most of us are not on that level with Max, though. Dude, MG, I guarantee you 15, 20 minutes with Max Murrah, and you would be on that level with him.
Well, if MG showed up to my stream on Saturday, he could have been.
Yeah. Yeah, you would have realized how chill Max really is. Max can carry on conversation where there is no conversation to be had. He just fills in the goddamn space. And I wish that I had all of the knowledge that Max has, because it is so much.
I'm only mean to T-Rex when he's being an idiot. But no, T-Rex, you have not seen me when I'm mean. I can be mean. Like ruthless mean. That's why I don't recommend anybody try to befriend me, because someday I'm gonna say something that's gonna hurt your feelings. And if you don't have thick skin, you're gonna cry.
That's a good thing, because I don't have thick skin. I always need a good cry.
Oh, okay, MG. No worries.
It's thinner as I get older. We met up with our Korean friends Saturday night so our kids could play for a bit. That's so awesome, dude. One of my Korean friends, I was telling her that I made some bulgogi one night. And she was like, "You asshole." Like, why am I an asshole? She goes, "My mom makes the best bulgogi. Don't you know it?" I was like, fuck. She goes, "All you gotta do is ask. I'll have to bring some over."
You're like, damn.
I'm like,
I went through all that.
Shit. I went through all that, and I could have just called your mom and she would have made bulgogi for me. She was like, yeah. Oh,
Bulgogi is bomb.
it
Now I want
is.
Korean barbecue. Thanks a lot.
I know there is a place not too far from me that is a Korean barbecue that you bake it, you make it yourself. They basically bring you over the raw food and then you cook it right
That's
there.
how it is here.
It's pretty
I love
awesome.
going there.
Yeah. So good. So good. My wife and I went there. It was expensive just for lunch, but she was like, it's Christmas. We'll do it on the company card.
T-Rex bullshit. I've seen it.
No,
Yeah, you have
not.
seen me be ruthless at people. You've seen me. That's what you call full reloaded.
Yeah.
And that's only like I have a lot of patience. But once that patience is gone, you're done.
Yeah. And you know, it's really easy to piss somebody off. A little much harder to piss on them.
I do. There's a lot of people I'd like. I wish I had a dick so I could just like aim and shoot with my piss.
Well, you've seen the women's funnel thing that they've made, right?
Yeah, but that's not the same.
Yeah, true.
Like you just aim it and pee on them.
Just like, there you go.
Well
Fire
deserved.
hose.
Well deserved piss on you.
I mean, a big greasy Euro a few hours ago. Damn, that's awesome.
Yum.
Damn. There was a place. See, I used to work on the corner of Hollywood and Vine. There was a little Greek restaurant that was right down the street, like right. You know, you come down the elevator, walk out the front door, walk around the corner, and they were open like 24/7. That place was fucking jam packed, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it had like the best fucking Euros. I just go in there and fucking order a bunch of goddamn Euros and fucking take them back into work. Good stuff.
We have a Greek neighbor that always makes like souvlaki and like a whole bunch of lamb and stuff for Easter, and it's so bomb.
Yeah.
Like I love when he invites us over to his house because he makes really good lamb and Greek food.
I do lamb chops in a garlic with butter and thyme. My wife goes fucking bonkers every time I do it. I don't make it too often because those lamb chops are expensive as fuck.
Yeah, they are.
But whenever I do make it, she's just like, because she loves lamb. I'm like, yeah, I can cook some stuff up. See, I do all the cooking. Like, I asked the wife what she wanted. You know what she told me? She wanted sloppy joes. like really? She was like, yeah, that's what I'm in the mood for. I was like, all right. So chop up an onion, some tomato paste, throw some paprika and a bunch of other spices in there and some water and boil it all up until it turns into this nice sloppy fucking mess and throw it on a hamburger bun. There you go. The Greeks on Vine? Yeah. Let's see. No, it'd actually be on Hollywood because Vine runs one way, Hollywood runs the other way. So they were actually on Hollywood Boulevard. And they would have been at the Taft building, like right underneath the Taft building. There also used to be a t-shirt, what do you call it? Tie-dye t-shirt shop down there. That dude was so fucking cool. I would get off work and I would just go down there just to listen to his stories. He was telling me about whenever the Doors were there, you know, because he sees me coming in. He was like, he just laughed. I was like, what's so funny? He was like, yeah, you're nothing new. I was like, what do you mean nothing new? He goes, dude, you're a fucking dime a dozen here. I was like, really? Dime a dozen, huh? He was like, listen, I saw the Doors whenever they first came into town. He goes, there were at least 50 other bands that were doing the same fucking thing. They had some dude wearing black leather. He was all morose, quoting poetry. You had a keyboard player that was up there playing on those goddamn fucking farfeeses. And they sounded like they were all just a bunch of fucking angry hippies. He goes, it was nothing new at the time. They were just the ones that got the record fucking deal. He goes, you're nothing new or surprising. He goes, and after that, I love that guy. I would just go and hang out with him just to hear his stories. He goes, all these people that think they've got something new, creative, inventive, they're a fucking dime a dozen in Hollywood. He goes, there's millions of musicians that show up in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, that want to be the next big fucking star. Musicians, actors, actresses, they want to be the next fucking big thing. He goes, there's nothing that differentiates them from the next. He goes, it'll be a rare occasion that somebody gets signed up, gets recognized, and becomes big. Out of those millions of musicians that show up, 100,000 might stay. Out of those 100,000, there might be 50 that get signed under a record label. Out of those 50, there might be 10 that actually become multimillionaires or become world renowned. Truth. It puts into perspective. That's why whenever people go, oh yeah, you're on YouTube, you must be famous. Fuck no, dude. I am that one in a fucking billion that's on YouTube that's doing this shit. If you think that I'm going to become world famous, fuck you.
You have to be like, to get clout on YouTube, you either have to be an e-thought or a family channel. For some reason, people like watching family channels with like the family vlogs and shit. And I'm like, that's so lame. But whatever. I've seen over, I don't know, I want to say the past 10 years, tiny channels that started as vlogging channels and then they blew up because they got married and started posting family channel content. And then they all moved to LA for some reason, thinking that, oh, I'm big on YouTube, I can make it out in LA. And then like 3 months later, they moved back to the state that they came from because they realized, no, I can't.
No. I mean, it is such a rarity for.
I would not want to move to LA or Beverly Hills or any of that because it is so ghetto over there. As nice as the mansions are and there's a bunch of rich people, it is ghetto AF.
Oh yeah. I mean, I it's like, oh, you get all these people that are just like, oh, look at how well Nick Reichardt is doing. I was like, dude, he is fucking nothing as compared to a lot of other fucking YouTubers out there. I mean, there's fucking e-thoughts that make fucking 100,000 times more money than he does.
They make $100,000 a month sometimes with the shit that they do.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I mean, they make fucking hand over fist. Us, dude, I'm not showing my butthole on screen. Well, I have to be really fucking drunk to do that shit. And then you're probably not going to want to fucking ever watch me again.
I would totally watch you if you showed your butthole on screen. Don't you worry.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with that dude?
I'd probably talk mad shit to you and be like, have you lost your dignity? What's wrong with you?
If I've shown my butthole on screen, I have lost all dignity.
No, I'm not a big fan of like, so I've been noticing this a lot, like with being in this whole like YouTube world and whatnot. A lot of people, they try to be humble and be like, oh, I don't know how my channel's growing. I don't like the attention, blah, blah, blah. But then you look at their mannerisms. Oh, they love the attention. Yeah. They love it. And then like there's like the parasocial boundaries that like Reichardt always talks about, right? People think they know you just because they watch your streams and they're like, they start idolizing you and stuff, and it's so weird. It's like, no, I'm literally a pleb like you. I just happen to be streaming. You could do it too. I'm nothing special. Anybody can do
Right.
it.
Well, and that's not everybody can, and I would disagree with him on that. Not everybody can do this because it takes a certain amount of not giving a fuck, a certain amount of wanting the limelight. I mean, I appreciate every single person that subscribes and donates and all of that to this channel. Would I be doing it if they didn't? Absolutely. Would I have been doing it as long as I have? Probably not. I would have said, well, I must be doing something fucking wrong. Let me change something. But
I mean, it takes a lot of patience.
It
takes a
does.
lot of energy. Like I've been doing YouTube stuff. Like I've had my channel since 2009. Started posting vlogs like 2014. And there's been so many times where I like literally abandoned it and then came back. Abandoned it, then came back, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, but at the end of the day, I don't want to lose sight of me, of who I am. And that's why I try to be myself, like the same person on screen as I am off screen.
I think I'm pretty close to the same person. I mean, I probably am a little bit more on screen than I am off because I'm very much a recluse. So if you met me in person, you would go, yeah, dude doesn't really say a whole lot. Of course, I don't say a whole lot whenever I'm on screen either. I usually just talking shit. But yeah, I don't see myself as being something different.
Though that's like normal people, because we're normal, right? But then there are some people who are like, oh, I don't really like the attention, blah blah blah, and then you see them like doing the extreme, and you're like, I don't like the attention, but here's my merch. I don't like the attention, but here's this. I don't like the attention, but I'm doing this, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I
just don't even try to humble yourself and say you don't like the attention because you think it's going to make people like you more, because you look stupid.
Yeah. I think that there's also, because I would see this a lot whenever I was playing music, of the people that were just like, oh, well, I'm so heartbroken musician and everything sucks for me and I'm a poor starving musician. And you're just like, dude, you drive a fucking, $30,000 BMW, you live in a $400,000 house. You are far from fucking being a broke goddamn musician. If you're broke, then you need to fucking change your goddamn spending habits, because I see that you got fucking 50 goddamn guitars and each one of those cost about $8,000 a piece. So you're doing something fucking right. So tell me what the fuck it is that you're doing right.
I want to know where they got that 30,000 BMW from, because ain't no way you're gonna find one for $30,000 here in California.
Well, this was fucking 20 years ago. So
oh, okay.
Just saying that.
I was gonna say my Honda was freaking $30,000.
Oh God, yeah. Fuck yeah. I worked on Honda. I know how much those fucking things cost. I've owned a BMW and I know how much those fucking things cost. So, I mean, if I've been broke, yes. If I have made a lot of money, yes. Am I a fucking millionaire? Yes, I am. Literally, I am a millionaire. If I took all my fucking assets and sold them off, I would be a fucking millionaire. Whoopee fucking do. That doesn't stop me from fucking having to goddamn pay my goddamn bills.
Right.
It's just like shit, man. I look at these people and they're sitting there going, yeah, well, my life sucks. And it's just like, well, if your life sucks, fucking change it. Really? It's not fucking hard. Life sucks. Look, I think one of the perfect examples is T-Rex. Think about this. T-Rex will tell you, back before he started driving trucks, he was just, did not give a shit, was just like fucking off, whatever. And one day he said, I'm done with the way that things are going. I don't want to be different. He went and got his CDL. That's fucking impressive.
Yeah,
Goes
and
and
I'm
gets a
so proud of
CDL.
him.
I'm just like, dude, you know how much bullshit you have to go through just to get to that fucking point? That's goddamn, that is a lot. And I am so impressed. And, you know, I can sit there and talk shit about all the fucking shit that I've done, but I've never gotten a CDL. Goddamn. Fuck me. That's some shit right there. I'm impressed. And my hat goes off to you every single time on that T-Rex. Every single fucking time.
I'm
Stop
so proud of
ageless.
him for doing that.
Oh yeah.
He decided to get up and do something for himself. And so he did.
And look where he's at now. He's happy. I didn't idolize anyone except God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. I consider y'all on panel friends, but someone know y'all the
Exactly.
brackets. I just like his show. Yeah.
That's honestly, that's one of the things with being someone who streams on YouTube is people think whether you have five subscribers or like 1,000 subscribers or 1,000,000 subscribers, you're just a pleb on YouTube. You're still a nobody. Like, you're not a celebrity. Like, the only time I would ever consider myself as a big deal would be if I was like in some big movie or something, or actually not even then. They're still plebs. No, the only time I'd consider myself a big deal is if I did something that would benefit humanity and helped a lot of people. That's the only time I'd think of myself as a big deal.
Maybe,
But,
yeah.
But either
I mean,
way,
do you think Mother
it's
Teresa
like,
ever thought of herself as a big deal?
no. But also, she wasn't always a good person.
Well, that's true.
And that's the difference there.
She
But
wasn't always a nun. Just saying.
But you know what they say? Every saint was once a sinner,
Mm-hmm.
and every sinner was once a saint.
Yep. Well, and I never thought of myself as a big deal. My little brother came into town whenever I was playing music. It was just with a local band, you know, nothing spectacular. And my little brother comes into town. He is just like, oh yeah, big musician. I'm like, dude, I am not fucking big. It's like, let me take you down to the bar where I play out, you know, every fucking week. We walk in and it's literally a pool table over in one fucking area. And it's got this little bar. The stage is fucking up smaller than the room I'm in right now. It's just this tiny little fucking stage. We show up and, you know, a couple of people buy me drinks. And he was just like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's just like, yeah, but I'm buying the picture. You know, it's cool. These people know me. I'm here all the fucking time. And we go near my fucking house. And it just is one of those random fucking things that never fucking happens, where I go into the grocery store to get some fucking food so I can feed me and my little brother. And every goddamn person was at the show the night before fucking it wants to stop me and say hello. My little brother's just like, you're not a big deal. Bullshit. Everybody in this fucking store knows you. I was just at the bar. It's on the other side of fucking town. How do these people know you? I'm like, dude, this is not normal. I could walk through here 100 times a fucking day and not run into this many goddamn people. Why?
It's so it's so weird. Like, even my brother was like, oh, why don't you set up like this, and this for your YouTube stuff and do this and do that. And I'm like, yo, I am a pleb. I'm just a small channel. I don't need to be doing all of that extra bullshit. And plus, I don't fucking care if my channel grows or not. And I literally said it the other day. There will come a time where I will ghost all of you here on YouTube. And
Yeah,
you'll never hear from me
you still
again.
better hit me up in my fucking DMs and
Well,
go fuck. Tell me to go
obviously.
fuck myself or something.
No, I would obviously like give you my number before I deleted myself off of social media. But you know,
That's
like, shut up, Shizzy. No, but you know what I mean. Like,
I do
I'm
know
like,
what you
I don't fucking care for this YouTube shit. I don't. If it does end up taking off or going somewhere, that's gonna be so weird for me because I'm like, even to this day, like earlier, I had like 20 to 23 people watching concurrently during my stream, and I was like,
It's
the stream
awesome.
freaking sucks. Why are you guys even watching it?
Well, because you got a perspective that a lot of people might agree with. And I think that's and I recognize that also. It's like there may be things that I say that resonate with people besides
Yeah.
my voice. I mean, there may be things that I say that people are in agreement with or even disagreement with. But the reason that they listen or the reason that they respond is because like holy shit, I never thought about that, or shit, I was thinking about that, but I never looked at it that way. And I mean, I'm always amazed by some of the shit that comes out of other creators' mouth. I'm like, holy fuck, that is a new way of looking at it. I mean, MLS is a good example of that. Baker is another good example of that. MG Law, which I will be 40 and all you motherfuckers do after this stream ends. He's another one. I'm just like amazed at the amount of things that I hear on the tubes of people, the things I hear in real life. I mean, just outside of the YouTube stuff, it's amazing to me that the amount of thought that people have. I mean, I can honestly say that my little 4-year-old niece, she has more thought than some of these fucking YouTubers. On
Well,
the
she's
other,
Gen Alpha. Gen Alpha is a whole different breed of children. They're better than Gen Z, I will say.
I don't
I'll
know.
put it that way.
She is cute and adorable, and my nephew's pretty goddamn fucking hilarious. That kid right there, and I can see it. I'm like, this kid is gonna have like attention of crowds. He is just he's just got that kind of charisma. Will he have it whenever he hits his teenage years, or will he become this morose kid or whatever? I don't know. I mean, it's like looking at one of the, what would it be, step nephew, whatever. Like he was that sports ball kid into playing all the sports, and then he just was like, this really isn't my thing. Switched schools. He still played sports, but he wasn't really active in it. He wasn't looking for like a sports scholarship. He decided to focus more on academics, got really into computers, and now he's going to college in Orlando, and like a technical college for computers. He's actually a teacher's assistant. So he's teaching a lot of the classes, teaching them how to code and things like that. And it's like, you don't know where those kids are going to end up at the end of the day. I mean, I've got a brother that ended up as a fucking junkie, fuck, you never know. Like, and it could be anything that sets them in that fucking bad path. Could be us that sends them in a bad path. Who the fuck knows? But we always hope the best for our future generations.
I always tell my little cousins, because like they're always like, oh, you're so cool, I love you, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, but you know what would be even cooler? Like what? I'm like, if you grow up to be even better than me.
Yeah.
Grow up and
That's
be
what
even
I
better
hope
than
for.
me. You know? Learn from the mistakes that I've made.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you think I should give him my gaming channel here? Give my gaming channel outro.
Do it.
I am so fucking happy with this
Do it.
goddamn thing. Let me
Wait,
pull this.
did we shill your gaming channel link?
No, I never show my gaming channel link.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it. No. I'll play the this will be my intro, but it's gonna be our outro for tonight because I don't think it's got me banned yet. So we'll find out. Let me see if we got it here.
I'm gonna spam it in the chat 3 times.
Damn, girl. Share this tab instead. Add to the stream. Look at that. Damn. Yeah, this is my gaming channel. And we'll see what happens with it because it's completely different. It's not political. Although I may talk shit about politics, but it is all about fucking gaming. And well, here's the intro for it. And this will be the
I love
video.
a butter biscuit.
In a world where gaming is no mere pastime, but a quest for glory, one dancing monkey dares to press the keyboard of chaos. Shizzy Wiznut Gaming. Her fairies wear boots and Karens clutch pearls. Prepare to embark on a journey through beautiful terrains and rummage the valleys of morons. With a master of ceremonies so serious, you'll forget that he is a gamer. Welcome to your new gaming destiny. For it is time to level up with the one, the only, Shizzy Wiznut. Subscribe, smash that like button, and ring the bell for the ride of your life, because Shizzy Wiznut is here to redefine what you thought was possible.
Oh, fuck it.